You're live. Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show. Pating to the nation out there. Checking out, see who's all out there tonight.
Hi there. We're in a camping spot. We're in Springfield, Illinois. So this is our third day since we've left Sturgis. No, second day. Friday night, we stayed all night in Brandon. We left Friday morning. Saturday, we went to Des Moines, Iowa, which was last night. And then tonight, we're staying in Springfield, Illinois. And then tomorrow, we'll be home back in Belleville, Illinois.
Not home. That's where we used to live many moons ago. Over 20 years.
Yes.
Long time. Long time. So what are we going to talk about tonight? A bunch of stuff. So we're outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the crickets and the critters in the sky. And
sounds like back home.
Yeah, we didn't want to go inside the ORV because the air conditioners are running. It's a
little humid.
It's like 86 degrees and it feels like 90 and the dew point's like 64%. So it's kind of moist. She don't like that word moist. We got that from another YouTuber.
Yeah.
He always says everything's moist.
So how have you all been? And did you all make it home safe? I hope you did. I've heard from a few of you guys and you've made it home. So other than that, we've got 48 on. We had 66 a second ago.
Holy crap, they left.
Somebody left. Are we on YouTube? Live. I got to hit live.
Oh, YouTube's live.
Or not.
There. Facebook. If you're on Facebook, let us know if it came through or not. Don't have that up at the moment to see what's going on there. So we're going to tell you a little bit about, we're going to do a little more of a wrap up on Sturgis because we actually left there. We pulled out on, was it Friday morning? Friday morning we pulled out, and we'll tell you everything up until that point, what was going on, what we seen, something about, if you watched the video from yesterday, we did the Buffalo Chip. If you watch that video, you know we're not staying at the Buffalo Chip next year. Not going to tell you today where we're going to stay at. You got to watch the video that we're going to set up next week and tell you we're going to do the wrap up of, show you some sights, show you what Main Street looks like, all the different things, what it looks like when everything's gone. Kind of sad. That's the only part I hate about staying long after the rally, especially Sturgis. You know, all of you came and all of you left. We were the last ones to pull away. So that's kind of sad.
It is. And, it's fun watching everybody come in, but then it's sad. Like, it's like they're all gone. Everybody's gone.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about Sturgis or what's going on here in the future, you can put it down there. Tam's going to be checking it out. I don't know if we're going to put anybody's comments up here because she's on the opposite side now. I'm on this side.
Oh, there they all are.
So it goes way back.
No. More than I thought.
Go back.
So Brian's on, and you're shaking the camera. I know. Yep. We've tried everything to try to make the camera
stable. Well, I need to use a different, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to use a different camera mount or phone mount. And I've got several now. Mosquitoes are bad here.
Yeah, they are. We've got bug spray. We've got the Sentinel candle.
So if you just came on, we're in Springfield, Illinois right now. So we've traveled all the way across South Dakota and went into Iowa and went into Nebraska and came back into Iowa. And now we're in Illinois. And
the reason we had to go to Nebraska was to pick up medicine. I've got that Kroger's RX, and they say they're all over the country. Well, everywhere except where we're at. And even I looked in Belleville, there was none around Belleville, so there was one in Nebraska, so we swung by.
So you might wonder, what the heck is Belleville? Well, that's down by St. Louis on the Illinois side, and that's actually where we grew up, went to high school at together, and all that kind of good stuff. And then we moved from there, and we've been in Missouri, and then we moved to California, and then we moved to Arizona, and now we've also got a residency in South Dakota, which that video is going to be coming up real soon. If you're an RVer and on the road a lot, and it depends on each state. For instance, our state in Arizona, you only have to be out of the state 6 months to have a residency someplace else. So we'll tell you.
Considered a snowbird.
Yeah. So we can say that our house that we have there is more for winter use, not summer use, which this year looks like we're going to be there about 8 weeks. And that's it. We're going to talk about where we're going to be heading out to after this. And in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about that.
The UK's in the house.
Yeah. So.
And Bill and Annie, did you ever get your trike, Annie? Bob says he's at home doing well, so that's good.
So we're in Illinois. That's where we're at. So So tomorrow we'll head down and we'll be down in Belleville. Actually, going to go to my sister's house and we're going to stay a week there. Got a little work I'm going to do on the RV. We actually stopped by one night at Matt's, which is what's this place called?
Custom Outfitters in Brandon, South Dakota.
And that's where we bought this one at. Bought it through him. And he told us a few secrets of just little minor things I have. We have a slight water leak around the window. He told me to check a marker light. The back door is not sealed as tight as it should be. Show me how to bend that. And our awning comes out a little bit when we're traveling. Not enough it's going to fall out. But he showed me how to take it apart and put a Velcro strap on it just for safety issues.
So it doesn't come out while we're driving down the road.
Yeah, because I've heard horror stories like that. I don't know anybody personally that had that happen to, but that'd be very just unexciting to have that awning fall out while you're driving down the highway.
Not be a good
Rip
thing.
the whole side of the trailer.
Yep.
So those are the things we're going to work on there. I'm going to finish up part 2 of Terrific Tuesday video. If you're a $25 Patreon watcher, that'll be coming up next week. Plan is Monday or Tuesday. I should have that wrapped up. We'll have our final video for Sturgis. We'll have that, a goodbye and all that kind of stuff. Show you what Sturgis looks like when everybody's gone. We got Kat from the city chamber. She talks to us. I don't know if I got anybody else that's going to say anything. I got a couple people that were still at the Buffalo Chip. That was on the first day, right after that video I didn't put up of some of the people we talked to. If you watch the video that we just had on about the Buffalo Chip, that talked a little bit about some of those people, what their response was about why they stay at the chip and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting. If you didn't really get around to talking to people out there, you wouldn't really understand. It's almost like its own little community out there. And a lot of the people that go every year for years, some 15, some 20, some even longer than that. Some of the one guy we talked to has actually been there since the 40th. He's been to every one of the rallies except I think one. I think it's 1988 or something was the only one.
So he wouldn't say he'd been to all of them consecutively.
I said, you skipped one. You've been to all of them. That's close enough for me.
So Jeff wanted to know what the total attendance was. Do you have that from
it's on that phone. I think what it came up with is, now this is car count. So this has not got anything to do with how many people were there or anything else. And they only count from August 6th to the 15th. And it was like 586,000. It's on this phone, so I can't look at it. I took a picture of it a while ago. Somebody had posted it on Facebook. And I've heard that number several times in that area. And that's kind of what the county came out with. Now, the part that I talk about is, first of all, you can't say that that's the attendance. That's how many. And people say, well, that's car count. Well, car count, the county actually has a plus and minus because they know some people actually work in town and they drive across that county line, several times during the day and a lot of times during that week of the rally. They actually said the first day of the rally, Friday, was the largest count they'd ever had. So that showed you that. But then Sunday was the worst count they ever had, the least amount of count. So overall, compared to like the 75th, it was, I believe, about 16% less than what we had on the 75th. So actually, we talked to Rod at Woody there at the Buffalo Chip before we left. We got a video we're going to put up about him, about what you can do at the Buffalo Chip extra. And he was telling us it was about a third down. That's what he was believing. A lot of the numbers that the city and stuff like that puts out, what he kind of emphasized, which we can understand too, is it's all about getting more money for next year. So if they can say the numbers are so great, just like this year, they had more city permits issued this year than ever before. I think it was like 699 was the number that they had. And before that, it was like 517. So they had a considerably lot more vendors this year within the city limits that had to get permits than they've ever had before. Probably because the city told everybody this was going to be the biggest event ever. Now, back up to what, August 2nd?
Yeah.
August 2nd, that Monday, when we pulled out and we drove someplace, we had to go do something. I don't know if we went out to Deadwood or somewhere, but the traffic was crazy already. Never seen so many motorcycles there so early. We were there last year. I say on Friday the 2nd, it was as busy as Monday the 2nd. It was as busy as last year's opening day of the official rally. So when people say, somebody just asked me a while ago when I was saying, who counts pre-rally? Well, Who counts just the rally? You know, nobody made a rule saying that we're going to
all
count.
the vendors were there. Everything was
Well,
open.
not all vendors, but most of a lot of people. So to me,
80%.
the people that came pre-rally came for the rally, right? And the people that stayed to the end of the rally. So just like the rally, that's why I wrote back to that person and I said, you know, first of all, they've added days to the rally. It used to not be as long as it is today. It used to be shorter than that. It started on a Monday, ended on a Saturday, and they've added now Saturday and Sunday and Friday. So they've extended it out too. So you can't compare the numbers. Actually, the numbers and the 50th was actually better than what they were because they didn't have the extra 3 days that they had before. So another whole different story. But when you're looking at number, I say you have to look at the attendance we had. Why do we have to look at that? Is because if you look at Wednesday of the rally, a lot of people go home Wednesday and Thursday. We used to do that. We went home on Thursday, got there on Thursday, left on Thursday. You know how many people came in on Wednesday and Thursday?
None.
We didn't see any.
Few.
We didn't see any motorcycles. We didn't see any travel trailers. We seen them. They were heading out of town. They weren't coming in town. So, and we talked about, just like at the Buffalo Chip, they had no second wave. They said Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, other than people just coming for a concert and staying all night for that, they did not. Nobody came in and checked in. Not, you know, one or two might have came in.
And a lot of the vendors we talked with too said the same thing, that it was great all the way up until Wednesday, and then Wednesday it just started petering off. Just slowly each day got less and less and less. So that shows you that second wave never came in. I think everybody came early versus.
So if you look at that, that's what I say. If you look at that, if you figure last year, you know, I roughly say last year we had somewhere between 250 and 300,000 people, not cars or not vehicles across the rubber lines. So if you figure this year, well, if you figure there was 586,000 or 568, somewhere in that range. I can't look at my phone. I'll put it up under the next video we put up. I'll put the exact number that the county has done. The city has not counted and weighed their trash. You know, typically there is no way anybody in God's green earth will ever be able to tell you exactly how many people came to Sturgis. There's some people we talked to out at the Buffalo Chip never go to Sturgis. Sturgis even mentioned that. Ever since they put the bypass in, they've lost traffic coming into Sturgis. So you get other people that go out to Deadwood and never leave Deadwood. Go to Hilton. Same thing, all the little towns. You know, just when you think about it, downtown's getting to be a t-shirt place. Tattoos, t-shirts, and bars.
I didn't realize it till somebody asked us one day we were doing a live if there was any tattoo places downtown. I would say there's at least a dozen. At least.
Maybe more.
Yeah, because somebody said there was one right there at One Eye Jack's, and I went down there and looked, and there was one right at the end of One Eye Jack's, but I bet you at least a dozen. I couldn't tell you them all, but on both sides, there was a lot. So Dallas is on from Goats Bank. A lot of people are patinging us. Kathleen said she couldn't go 22, but she's going to go on 23. Rat Pink's on. He's one of our moderators. Thank you. And
does he have a wrench?
Yes, he does.
Oh, just make sure.
Yeah, Megan.
And if you're anybody else that had said you wanted to be a moderator, you can tell us while we're online, and I can give you the wrench now. Because some people I typed in, like one guy was Racer X, and I couldn't. When I typed that in, it didn't come up as
anybody.
Yeah.
So we couldn't attach.
So if you come on and remind me, I can click right over here on the side, and I can make it happen today. Give you that permanent wrench.
And Meg Maiden said if Canada would have came, there probably would have been a million people.
Probably. Oh, any of that. It's just everything was so strict, just like Europeans, Australia. If they came over, they would have had to quarantine on the way back. So most people are like everybody else. They got a job to do. So to have to quarantine, bugs are awful out here. We sprayed. We got the little candle over here chugging away. And watch it burn your hand. Trying to keep the skeeters away. Because it's bad out here tonight. We don't want to sit inside and listen to the air conditioner and have to listen to that. Yeah. Did anybody say you could hear the crickets out here in the trees?
Yeah, nobody said.
Maybe you can't
hear. And Billy and Annie, they didn't get their trike yet, so they're still working on that. Somebody said, hey, from Vermont. I didn't see anything else. Loving the green glasses. Thank you. I just grabbed some.
Okay. So somebody had a question here. I see Kathleen asked, do you recommend taking kids to Sturgis? Okay, here's what I would recommend. If you're going to bring your kids, let's say you're going to go the week before. if you don't bring them down to, kids don't belong in Sturgis during the rally. That's
Kind of
really
like
what it
take
is.
them to Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking your kids out there. Like a lot of people did it last year. You know, go see Mount Rushmore, go out to the Badlands, all this kind of stuff. Well, one of the things is if you got a motorcycle, you're coming with a motorcycle, you can't stick kids and you on a motorcycle unless you got a sidecar. So that means you're driving your car around. So I wouldn't take any kids to any of the campgrounds. I wouldn't take them downtown. None of that stuff. Kids don't belong in that. There's girls that wearing pasties. There's people with foul language. There's drunk people. It's just like, it's not a picnic. It's not a fair. It's good. So that's what I do. Just like Bourbon Street. Years ago, we took our kids to Bourbon Street when they were 14, 15 years old, went down during the day, which was a totally different atmosphere because you got college kids and everything else. Here, Sturgis is more of an older group of people. One, they may not tolerate kids as likely. So my recommendation is we'll leave it at that. No. I wouldn't recommend bringing the kids down to, now, if you want to go take them out to Deadwood and you want to take them to Hill City and all that, because that's different. And people say, well, what's different? One, there's really not any vendors out there. It's not a motorcycle town. They're tourist towns like Deadwood. Of course, you can't take your kids into the gambling halls down there. So that's the same thing. It's 21 and older. You can pass through, but if there's no hotel, you can't even go in with the kids. Nobody's allowed through the front door. But I mean, a lot of times like Hill City, Custer, Keystone, yeah, all those little towns, your kids are going to be more than welcome to be there. And I myself and probably any other biker would not have a problem with that. But when you come into Sturgis here and you try to see, when it gets crowded, like this year, it got crowded again on those sidewalks and people are pushing strollers around. There's little kids screaming and yelling, and it's just not a good situation. Now, if your kids are older, let's say they're 16, 17, they're a little more behaved, that's what Saturday is. Friday and Saturday at the end of the rally is Locals Day. And that's when you see all the local kids come out. Mom and dad drags them all out, the teenagers and stuff, and they're walking up and down Main Street. By then, most of you have already left and gone home. So you're not having to deal with it. And if you know anything about it, I wouldn't be there either. If we weren't filming, we wouldn't hang around because it's just awful there on Friday and Saturday with those kids. It's just too much. It's not a biker community at that point. It's a tourist community, or it's locals just trying to see what the heck's going on in Sturgis. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to ramp on too much.
That's what Rat Pink said to an adult party. King Krager's on. He says hi, everyone. He's got his little wrench too, so he's doing good. Thanks, Ken, for being another one of our. Eric said he took his son to the rally, and I think some people have gone there as teenagers. One guy said he'd gone with.
I think it's the monkey. I think the monkey man. Professional monkey. I think he started when he was a kid. I think he said he celebrated his birthday there when he was 8 years old or something. So, I don't know.
But there's a lot of other stuff you can do if you're taking your whole family. But if you're going to the bike rally.
Especially if you go back to when he started going back in I guess in the 80s. I don't know how old he is. 70s. I don't know how old he is. So, I mean, if you started going there, like if you went for the 50th, I think that'd have been 1990. I think they said the 50th was. I think it could be longer than that, but I think when I looked on the internet a while ago, it said 1990. But I mean, it used to be girls could run around topless and you had a lot more going on than what you have today. But I mean, for my grandsons, no, they don't need to see girls running around with pasties on.
It's enough to take them down to the lake.
Yeah, and they see the girls with the floss on.
They call them butt floss.
Yeah, so that's even enough at the river for us to deal with the kids. And then, which there's some girls down there that's got pasties on too, but we don't hang out and have a suit very much to see all that. But sometimes like that, just like Red Pink said, it's really a 21 and older crowd. That's where I would just leave it at. So somebody else said, congratulations, we did break 15,000, which is great.
Thank you for all you guys who did that. So how's your picture window said? He said that he thought Sturgis was great this year. Oh, is Art on there? I saw Art names. 5-year-old kid looking at some girl with her. Can't be good. No, probably not. Well, then you got to explain that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people.
Well, it just depends on your kids, but I mean, it's kind of like going to Las Vegas. there's things going on in Las Vegas. Girls dress differently than they would anywhere else. You go out to Glencoe, you're going to see a lot of things that that these women wouldn't do in public, and probably some of these guys wouldn't be doing in public either. So you got to think about that. Sturgis is kind of like that too, where people kind of let their hair down. They kind of do. They dress a little
like
more.
Vegas. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens in Sturgis stays in
I think
Sturgis.
it does. And some people are actually talking about that about Glencoe. So many people take pictures today on their phones. And one of the ladies was, she doesn't do anything wild like that at home. And she's afraid maybe some of her coworkers will see that. First of all, her coworkers shouldn't be on the Glencoe site if they weren't expecting to see something. But even at that, it is something.
Somebody I took a picture of, and she's like, "Oh, just take it from my neck down, because if my mom or dad saw this, and she was like probably close to 40, but she said, if my mom and dad see this, so I just took it." I think she was getting painted from the neck down. Somebody wants to know if they should book their room for Vegas Bike Week, and if we're going.
No, it's been canceled. Bike Fest is we're going to happen. We didn't think it was going to happen. Now, I don't know what the promoter's done, but the dealerships have pulled the plug. We called, actually it was Tuesday last week. Yeah. We called to double check, because I already assumed, because they were already pushing masks and everything everywhere now. And just based on Nevada Bike Week that we were going to have there, they're not going to do nothing. So right now,
I mean, we're going to Biketoberfest.
So what we're going to do is we'll talk a little bit about that now. So I don't know. I wasn't looking through. You're not watching on your question.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to talk. Tater to dog.
So what you want to do is, here's what we're doing. From here, we're going to be down in St. Louis for the first weekend of September, which will be Labor Day weekend. We're actually camping on the Merrimack with some of our friends.
Yep.
So we're going to be down there. Right after that, we're going to be heading over to Lake of the Ozarks. What day we show up at Lake of the Ozarks?
I think the 14th of September.
That's the day we're pulling in, or that's the day the rally starts?
Let me check.
So she's going to check the dates, because we'll tell you about the dates. So from there, we're going to do Lake of the Ozarks. As soon as that's over, we're going to be heading down to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and we're going to be going to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. I think I got it right this time. And from there, we're heading over to Myrtle Beach. We're going to do the Myrtle Beach Rally, whatever they're calling it now. I don't know what the fall ones are.
Cruising the coast, or was that
the
spring one?
I don't know. There, we're going to be staying at the state campground there, right smack in the between. Where do we stay at?
We're not staying there.
I know. But it's in between
Barefoot
that.
Landing.
It's in between Barefoot Landing and
Merle's
Inlet. And it's the state park there on the left. If you're interested, check it out. They still had spots available.
Yeah.
So we got to move around twice, but I mean, who cares? Ain't that big a deal.
Osage Beach. We're going to get there on September 13th. It starts on September 15th. So we'll be there a couple days ahead. Okay. So maybe we can do some investigating.
So Lake of the Ozarks, that's what they call Osage Beach. We're going to arrive there on the 13th, and the rally starts on the 15th. So we should have a little bit of pre-rally there to tell you what's kind of going on. And on the internet, because that's up there at the lake, and I'm not sure what we're going to have.
Probably not much.
Maybe not, but we'll see. We've got better service now. Things have been working really good for us. It's really crazy how when we were in Sturgis, we got there, and we got somebody from Hawaii on.
Oh boy!
Aloha.
Are those the guys that we saw at?
We'd be buzzing. Like
we've seen them before.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think they're the ones that we met. They gave us a sticker.
Yep.
Okay, postpone Vegas Bike Week. It sucks since it. Yes, it has. If we would have done Las Vegas Bike Week, we would have screwed Cashman Center down there. Screw them. Where are you going to pay money? That's the same clown that runs the one up in Reno. So I done talk to that clown, and I'm not interested. So what we were going to do is emphasize on the 3 Harley dealers. They're all owned by the same people. The one that's on the strip, they got a giant stage in the back, and they've done a lot of events. Red Rock always does the wet t-shirt contest, and believe me, that's a good one. And then over at Henderson Harley, they do a lot of fun things over there. They have a bike wash and all kinds of different stuff going on there. I think they got some band stuff. And we would have concentrated on those 3 dealers all together. Cashman Field, screw that guy. We need to boycott that guy and get rid of his ass. Because that's the problem with, you get these promoters that think they can charge you 20 or 30 or 40, 50 bucks to come to the stupid rally, and they don't give you nothing. Oh, you can go into the vendors. Well, dude, I'm going to spend
money in there when I go see them. So
I was going to buy me a new cup, but it was going to cost me 50 bucks, and I had to pay 50 bucks to get a stupid ass ticket and some cheap ass t-shirt that ain't good for nothing. So, which is sad. The West Coast sucks for bike shows, for rallies. Somebody's been trying to talk us into the Redwood one. I've never been there. I assume it's going to be a lot like Nashville was, more of a good old boy rally. We call that. That's what we call it, a good old boy rally. Not a lot of big vendors are going to show up. It's kind of like Vegas. Most of the big vendors now don't go out west anymore. They stop there pretty much in Texas and Arkansas, and that's about as far west as they go. And that's kind of sad that somebody doesn't. We used to have a great one. It used to be in Pomona. It used to be called the Love Ride.
Yeah.
And they started at a park way before us, and then we started going when it was in Pomona. They had
used to go up to Calabasas.
First time we ever seen ZZ Top was there. Yep. And it was about 100 degrees. And but it was a great rally. Didn't have a lot of big vendors there, but it was better than anything else that we'd ever been to in California. So what's so
Tammy McDonald said she's going to Bike Foods and Barbecue. Paula says, keep your kids at home. I didn't want to party with the kids. Somebody else wanted to know if we've ever been to the Race of Gentlemen in Wildwood, New Jersey. We've never been up there either.
We've never been that far.
We've never been
East Coast.
Northeast. We've been southeast, but
I've been back when I was union president. I've been to Washington D.C., did that kind of thing, but I never. We've rode the bike as far as like Niagara Falls and gone a little bit into New York and into Canada. That's as far east as we've been, other than getting down to Myrtle Beach. We don't know. What's tough about this thing is, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. We'll wait for that. So as soon as Lake of the Ozarks is over, we're going to be going to Bikes and Blues. And when are we going to arrive there? But you had everything open already.
I did, but then you started talking, so I started answering.
So we're going to go. So from there,
then we'll be there. We're going to leave the 20th or the 21st. We've still got us in Osage Beach 20th. So the 21st, we'll get to Bike Foods and Barbecues in Fayetteville, and it starts on the 22nd. So we'll only be there a day before. We might be able to get there 2 days before.
Maybe. It's not that far.
No.
So we'll get there early, try to get there a little early if we can, get in there, get it all set up, and try to do some pre-rally stuff there. What's good about both of these, well, not Lake of the Ozarks, but the Bikes and Blues, we got quite a few of our regular vendors are going to be there. Chubby Cups, Cal's there, I think.
Xanthoil's going to be there.
Yep.
And I think the Fairing Paul's going to be there, the Fairing Exchange.
So there's going to be a few people there.
Beef is going to be there, too.
I think so, too. And because I think did they go to Oceanside? So that's another one. People say, why didn't you go to Oceanside and stuff? One, it's a lot of zigzagging around the country here. It all costs money. And we are definitely doing better. We did a lot better this year
in all of you.
Sturgis than we've ever done before. Well, we only had one other year to compare it to. So, but I mean, the rest of the rallies, we've never even broke even. So here we actually did a little extra. And then the Patreon's been doing pretty good. We got a lot of people signing up for that 25 to check out the girls that I'll have. The next video next week will come up. And then
second one, part 2.
And then I'll try to have all 4, if it ends up being 4 videos, they'll all be up before September's over. That way, if you don't want to stay on the $25, you can drop off. But what we're going to do is when we do these bike shows, when we start seeing girls that are painted up, girls that are in what t-shirt contests, all that stuff, from now on, it's going to go on the $25 Patreon. Just because YouTube is just funny about that, and they gig me, and they take they take advertising away from us. So I talked to a couple other YouTubers, and that's what they're doing. Patreon seems they don't care, and they don't criminals. Well, I still run it through YouTube when you watch it, but there's no commercials, so they're not concerned with it. And they put like last time, they put an 18 age limit on seeing anything up top removed. Now, I'm not going to show anything more than that. You might see some bare butts, but I mean, I'm not showing any.
Well, even
Wally and the Bee's not going to be there. The Bee's not going to show up with Wally. So, just to let you know.
Tammy from Black Hawk's on. We got to talk to her, I think, at the Beaver Bar when we were out there. So, hi to you guys.
Speaking of the Beaver.
Yep.
Well, you were talking about the Beaver. She's talking about the Beaver Bar.
The Beaver Bar, yeah. I guess that's what brought it up. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of you guys are on here, and I can't reach my thing to put everybody up, so I'm trying to see all you guys. Bentonville area, always booked around January. Yeah, we're not, so we're probably not going to go to...
Yeah, we ain't got that far yet.
All right.
So after we leave there, we're going to be going over to Myrtle Beach. We have about 2 to 3 days to get there. I think what day we got booked that we're getting there. Which would be great, because we're already going to be in Arkansas, so it's only a couple of states we got to hop, skip across to get to... South Carolina to Myrtle Beach.
It will.
Didn't put it down?
Yeah, I guess it's the 29th.
So we get there on the 29th of September.
Yeah, September. It
And the
starts
rally
on the
starts?
30th.
So it starts on the 30th. So there we don't really need a lot of head start there because we already kind of know where everything's at and what's going on. You know, we got our connections there with the Beaver Bar. We never met anybody from the SBB.
Yeah, so Frank Lowe, that guy.
Yeah, but he was just the announcer. He wasn't the owner enough. We never got to actually meet the owner. And so we're good with the Harley dealer there. So we're good with them. Oh, what's that other bar? What's the bar that you have to pull into when we drive around the back? Not the Rat Hole. What's the other one? It was a boat dealer.
I don't know.
The Myrtle Beach.
I know. I'm thinking it's down there on the inlet.
No, it's before we get to the inlet. It's on the right-hand side there.
Oh,
Is that Broken Spoke?
Bones and Spoke.
Oh,
Bones and
Spokes.
Yeah.
And we talked to them. They're pretty good people. And they had a lot of stuff going on there last year. So this
That
year.
was Radical Randy that we knew there.
Yeah. So we'll have some connections there. We'll be able to get good footage and stuff like that. So that it'll be better this year than we were last year just because we got a little bit more insight today than we did before. And we know there's a few places we ain't going to go to. If you're watching the videos, you know I ain't going to the Rat Hole again. What? Did I say that?
That's your paper you're
Oh.
doing. This is my notes that people are
So
talking.
after that, we're still on where we're doing. So after that, we're thinking about, we got to call the lady and see if she's going to charge us for wristbands. She's going to charge us for wristbands. We ain't going. We'll pay for the camping, but I think at this point, we're probably only going to get boondocking anyway, but it's only a
Because I
3-day
think it's
event.
Thursday through Sunday. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then
So
Sunday
that
usually
is
nothing.
Angel City in
In
Georgia.
Georgia.
So we may be showing up for that, but we're going to call the lady. If she's going to charge us $150 per us for wristbands, then no, I ain't going. There really isn't anything there I really want to see. We'll film it and show you what it is to see if you guys want to come back to it. Cal from Chubby Cups goes. Also, I think the fairing people, there's quite a few vendors went last year. I think Dan Kite went too.
Yeah, they
And
said,
said that they did a really, during the spring one, it was great. A lot of fun. I think it's like a good old boy rally too. Nothing wrong with a good old boy rally. And we'll talk about that eventually on one of our videos, maybe even a live that we'll talk about all the different rallies we've been to, how we rate them all. And that'll be interesting. So if we do that, then after that, where do we go? We head to Daytona. So we got it all set up for Daytona. There, we actually have one of our vendors.
Thank you, Anessa.
Owns a lot. I don't know if you want to tell her name out. She might get other people begging
I
to
just
stay
said
there.
her first name.
And so we're going to stay there on her property. And they said the guy next door will sell you electricity for a small minimal charge, which is, hey, I'm all happy with that because we spent over $1,000 during the spring to stay for that week.
Yeah.
So a couple $100 for electric. I'm okay with that. So we'll be down there for that. And see, what's weird about the fall is they're only a few days. What is it, 4 days long?
Yeah, it's the same thing, Thursday through Sunday, I think. It's not a very long rally either. It seemed like it was longer last
So
year.
we may
When
get there
went.
early because we can stay on our lot whenever we want. So it's great that she's done that for us. She actually told us we could stay in her. She's also got a field in Sturgis that we could stay in too. And might be a possibility one day. We may think about that. But at this moment, no. And so after that, where are we going to go? Well, right now we are not going to Panama City Beach Rally. Why? Because there's no place to stay. The place that we stayed at last year, I'm not going to say the name of the place because it's a really good place and it's really cheap. And I don't want you all to snag it up for us in the spring because we'd love to go back for the spring.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get back in there and book in. But the rest of the campgrounds down there want like $1,500 to $2,000 for those 4 days. No. The rally ain't that damn good to go pay that money, not especially in the fall. So now if you know somebody down there that we can stay with, have a house or a place we can park our RV, they got a big yard, we don't want to, I had people before that's offered us 50 miles away. That's just too far to drive. We could actually go to a campground that we stayed at the very first time we went down there in the fall, which is 28 miles away.
New Mexico Beach.
And
Nice
I had
campground,
said
very
something
nice
to her
lady.
about it, and she just said, I really don't want to do all that traveling back and forth again. And which it is, it's tough, plus trying to edit. There, I don't think we put any videos out. I wasn't putting videos out, I don't think, nightly there. I don't remember coming back and doing videos every single night. So I don't know. I go back and look at those videos. So I don't know what their internet was down. But at one point is she don't really want to drive the 28 miles each way
I think we
back
did,
and
because
forth.
remember that last night you hurried up and flew a drone and I went around and did a review of the campground real quick and
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. But
Yeah, it was too far to keep going back and forth. It was like 35 miles one way.
And so we're not going to do that. So if somebody has a location, because we're going to be in Florida, we decided that we will be in Florida the rest of the month of October. So anything that's going on down there, if they're going to have something at the OCC down there at
In Tampa.
yeah, it says that Barracuda there. Or is the other one called Barracuda?
No, that one up there is Barracuda. The other one's Black Widow.
Okay. So Barracuda, if they've got anything going on at the OCC, we'll go down there and check that out and film that. If they got anything going on at the other one,
Black Widow.
Black Widow, which is the
Fort
Twisted
Charlotte.
Fork. Twisted Fork?
Twisted Fork.
Twisted Fork. We might go up there and check that out. So we'll be doing some stuff down there in Florida, checking out some dealers and things like that. If you guys want to meet up with us, let us know. Because like I say, we'll be there the whole month of October. As long as you're not down in the Keys, unless you got a place for us to stay, we'll zip on down there to the Keys and hang out with you for a couple
Ride the
days.
bike down there.
Yep,
And
for a couple days, we'll
Yeah.
hang out. If you like. If you don't, no, I'm not going down there just to shake your hand and say hi and give you a sticker.
so Dallas said hi, Bob and Tim. I said hi earlier. I don't know if you heard me. He's been talking a
So
lot.
after that, when we get done with that, we will then go over to Galveston for the Lone Star State, and that will end up our rallies for 2021. So there you go. There's our rundown for the rest of the year. It could change if somebody finds us a location. You know, if Angel City wants to work with us getting in there to film it and give them some free publicity, hey, I'm all for it. If not, hey, we'll just hang out in Florida a little longer. If not, if somebody's got something that they got friends or they know somebody that we can get in to Panama City Beach, we can definitely stay there for that week and check all that out and give you an up to date and good information on all that. If not, won't hurt my feelings by not going to them because we weren't going to go to any of them anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and come to Florida and do Daytona. We'll do Myrtle Beach. And
Well, the only reason we weren't going to go back east because we were going to go to Vegas and we'd have to go all the way across the country to go east and then come back to Texas again. So
it's too much.
now that since Vegas isn't happening, that makes it more feasible for us to go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
So we get to see all you guys, Richard and Steven and Myrtle Beach and everybody down in Daytona. And so that'll be cool to meet up with all you guys. We got to meet Steven. We never got to meet.
So somebody wants to know what kind of bike I have. What I have is a 2014 Ultra Classic CVO. Bought a brand new. Only brand new bike I ever bought in 2014. Tam used to have a bike. She had a 2014 Street Glide Special, but with her accident she had before that bike and all the other ailments she has, she's afraid her legs are getting numb
train wreck.
and she's afraid she might drop her bike. So at this point, she's not riding a bike. We're kind of kicking around, maybe looking at a Sportster or something like that for her. She used to have a 1200 Sportster. She might feel more comfortable riding that. But a lot of times when we end up going to bike rallies like this, we end up riding one bike anyway. Usually when she had her
Street
Glide Special, we left my bike sitting here and we went and rode around on her bike because it was easier to handle. It was a little bit lighter, not so bulky as my bike was, and made it really nice. I would probably do the same thing if she had the Sportster. We'd be zipping all over with that Sportster.
I didn't like riding on the back of the Sportster. My Street Glide Special was a little better seat. The other one I didn't like.
Tell me about Myrtle Beach hates bikers. Yes, they do. But see, what's important about Myrtle Beach is what's around Myrtle Beach. Murrells Inlet loves bikers,
Yeah.
and so does, I guess, is that north where the Harley dealer is that's got the bikes.
Yeah, that's North Myrtle Beach.
And they're a little more lenient. But yes, if I heard guy's a moron. You don't go down in Myrtle Beach and ride along the coast there where the hotels are at. Why? Because there's nothing there to see. You can barely look between the buildings and you see the water. There's no place to freaking park down there. We drove down there with the bike and we're just gonna get a couple quick shots of the water. We rode up and down that little area there in Myrtle Beach. There's nothing. There's really not even, I think there might be one bar or two bars there and that's it. The rest, everything else is up on the main road going in. So some moron was down there with loud pipes, revved him up, and a cop got him for $249 ticket. Also told him that if he caught him, 5 minutes will give him to get away. And if they catch him again in town with his bike, he's going to jail and they're impounding his bike. So yes, Myrtle Beach hates, they even try to implement a helmet law where the whole state is not a helmet law. And of course,
in the city limits of Myrtle Beach.
It was, not anymore, but it was. And those at Murrells Inlet fought it, won it from the state. And what's really funny is all those people that got tickets, the city had to pay all that money back because it was an unjust tickets that they wrote. So screw Myrtle Beach, they got what they deserve. But yes, you shouldn't really, unless it's on the main drag there and you're riding through, I don't see too many people getting picked off down there. Because even down, when you go down to where I don't know what they call that. Ocean Boulevard, Ocean something, Beach Boulevard. I don't know what they call that there in Myrtle Beach. But there's nothing there. And the garages even put signs up, no motorcycles allowed in these parking lots, blah, 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 blah. Screw them. Don't go down there. Don't spend your money there. Go down on each end of the town and spend your money. You know, maybe they don't like biker money. You know, there you go. That's what they hate. But the rest of Ormond Beach loves us. The police there love us. And when you get up to North Myrtle, they're fine up there. It's just the city of Myrtle Beach. It's just like Daytona. Daytona hates bikes too. There's a lot of them. We're going to talk about that on another video about what cities like motorcycles and which don't. You'd be surprised how, just like Panama City Beach, it's not in Panama City. It's in the beach. It's in the tourist area. It's got nothing to do with the city. So when you start looking at a lot of these rallies, like Daytona, it's not in Daytona. 3 blocks. That's it. Everything else is down in Ormond Beach.
It's okay.
Or it's somewhere else. Well, I'm just telling you, it's people think that Sturgis is the only city I know that welcomes riders. They've even got it on their water tower. They got it on their sign coming in town. We love bikers, you know. And there's some crazy stuff going on in Sturgis too. It's all politics, and we don't get into politics on here about motorcycles. So
Tater Two Dog says we should start the Laughlin Rally and call it the Bob and Tam Ham and Jam.
There you go. Somebody want to know if we went to the Chopper Fest in Ventura. I'm assuming in California. No, I never. The only rally I ever knew in up that way was the Hollister Rally. And the year that we were going to go was the year that they canceled it. They don't have it anymore, but they still have it like in a couple parking lots and stuff. But the same thing, Hollister hates motorcycles too. Please come to Eureka Springs. Liquor Springs where? Oh, it's in the hub of the. Well, we will if it's in Bike Blues.
There, yeah, we're going to be all around that area.
Yeah.
We're just going to be staying in Fayetteville, but we'll be that whole area. So they want to know if you got your bike for your veterans yet.
No.
We're still looking, but it doesn't look like anybody's going to give us.
I lost my nose.
Oh. But still looking. We might have to look.
So we've talked to our local dealer, which is who I knew if all else failed. I rely on my Harley dealers in Las Vegas to take care of us, and they probably will. So at this point, I really don't. I need to get home, and we're really not going to be able to do anything probably till the first of the year anyway. My garage, hopefully, it'll be built by then, and I can start getting a lot of that stuff that I want to do on the bike done during that time. But the idea was I really was hoping to get the bike before the rally was over because we were going to, it's speeds, not the speeds that's in Rapid City. It's the speeds that does the trucking, that does the travels. He was going to take it home and work on it there. He lives in Minnesota or someplace. It'd be a long haul for me to haul a bike over there. So I was hoping we would get one before the rally was over. We just missed out on one, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. I always look at things are supposed to be meant to be. You know, maybe somebody will hear about this and decide, hey, I got a bike I want to give away. We don't want something that's really old or something that's in a basket or something like that. Well, I mean, there's a lot of bikes out there that are basket cases, and we want something that's fairly new. And because like in Ciro, they don't have anything older than 20. 14. Yeah.
I think it's 14 and newer is when they started their company.
Which I'm not looking for somebody to give us a bike that new, but I mean, a lot of things, if I just got a Sportster, 1200 Sportster, you know, we're going to put nicer headlights on it and different things like that. You're not going to do a whole lot to it. And then we're going to talk to some of the other vendors that we have, Rick Rack, and some of the other ones that we deal with too, to see about getting stuff from them too. Clifton, Arizona, my son and I are going to Born Free Bike Show next weekend. Maybe Four Corners over the Labor Day weekend. How have you heard anything about Four Corners?
We've heard a little bit.
I've heard about Four Corners. What I think it's pretty much that bar that's there is where everything kind of goes on at. You're going to have local vendors there. You're not going to have any, you know, Ciro, Karyakin, nobody like that showing up. I don't even think they even have a Harley dealer show up for that event. So it's more of a, I call a lot of those are more just like bike, I guess I don't know what you want to call it, but it's back when you have like all the games, like girls eats the hot dog, bites the hot dog off, or you roll the barrel, or how slow can you go, and all those things, biker games. I think that's what Four Corners is more like, and it's more of a drinking thing. A lot of people drink there, have a good time, listen to some bands, local bands that have there. I've never heard nothing bad about it, but I've never heard anything exciting about it. But I think it's one of those things that pulls from the 4 states around there, Colorado, Nevada, I guess Utah's touching there. I'm not sure if any probably some California people probably right over. But what falls in bad with us is when it falls over like holidays like that, Labor Day, Memorial Day, that typically we try to be home during that time. This year it kind of got messed up and we weren't able to do it. That's the time we can see our kids.
Yeah. Wonder how. So Dallas one says who hates bikers. So who hates bikers? And somebody keeps asking for our email. I sent it to you at your, I think it's Kim McDonald. So it's Bob, B-O-B, and A-N-D, Tams, T-A-M-S, at yahoo.com. So Bob and Tams at yahoo.com. That's our email address.
So Larry says the Born Free is a builders rally. Well, that's kind of what Nashville was. But I was kind of disappointed in that point because when I go to something like the Buffalo Chip, we went down to Daytona and we got to see the bike builders breakfast there. It was excellent. All those builders, they introduced us to people. We talked to them. It was really great. I don't know anything about bike building.
No.
So I thought, hey, there's something else I could learn and find out about. And so we were excited about coming to Sturgis here. You know how many bike builders I met there? None. We've seen a few, we got introduced to them, but nobody talked to us about anything. So we didn't put anything on camera. So then we went.
I learned one thing. They're called hamsters.
I don't think they're all hamsters. I think it's
you have to earn that right to be a hamster. But the guy that just died, who was at Van Ness, Ness
motorcycle stuff.
Whatever. Anyway, he's the one that started the hamster club. And they continued it after he passed away. I think he just passed away in 19, something like that.
So kind of the same thing happened in Nashville. They brought in 28 or 30 bike builders. They all brought a bike, and they were half the time they weren't even nowhere near the bikes. So when you look at these guys, you can't tell them from a biker. They all look like the rest of us. They all look the same. They don't have a shirt that says, "Hey, I'm a bike builder." So
unless they wear their hamster shirt.
Yeah. So that's the point when I look at bike building events. I don't know. I'm just kind of disappointed being at Daytona. I was so pumped up. We got to meet Rusty Wallace. We got to meet his son that's building bikes. We got to meet a bunch of great guys in Daytona. And it was like, wow, this is really exciting. This could really add to our channel. So when same lady that runs the one in Daytona runs the one in the Buffalo Chip, but it wasn't. I think it was
the same vibe.
I think it was more spectators there because they had the bikes. They have I don't know if I ever put a video up on that or not. They had these little bicycles that all the builders like little trike bikes, and they tweak them all out, and they're really neat. I don't know if I did a video on that or not, but they're really neat the way they all look. I don't know if I ever did one or not, but that was it. There was no other bikes there. All that lady that has all the bling on it.
Yeah, the Diva.
Yeah,
Miss Diva.
But I don't think she builds bikes. I think she just rides a bike. And
I don't think she blames
Adam Sandoval did a thing with her and talked to her, met her. We've seen her at a couple different rallies, but I don't think she builds a bike. I think there used to be another lady that rode a bike like that, but she passed away, that had it all blinged out like that. She used to be at a lot of our rallies that we used to see her at. But that's the only part that I look at a bike builder event.
Arlen Neff.
Yeah, Arlen Neff. That's it.
I knew I didn't have it right. I don't remember everybody's names. The beard's on. Hey.
So,
you're reading your thing.
Yeah, it says I booked a KOA Galveston Island RV Resort for Lone Star Rally. They have around 30 sites left out of 200. What we're staying at in Galveston is
Jamaica Me Beach.
Yeah, Jamaica Me Beach, which is like 20 minutes away. And a lot of people say it's a really great place. We're not on the water. I could care less. So we're pretty happy there. It wasn't that much. It was $400 or $500 for the whole rally. Full hookup. So we were pretty happy with that. And somebody had recommended them, and that's what we kind of went with that.
Oh, there's George. George is on.
George says he met Mondo from Denver's Chopper at the BC breakfast.
Oh, George was there at the breakfast.
Yeah,
I remember seeing
great
him.
Conversation. Met Woody there too. Enjoyed the event.
I should go get what I won. We won something at the Bike Builders breakfast.
No, is it here? We won a hammer.
Well,
a hammer looks like a little punch.
Well, it's more than a hammer. It's like a
the ball peen hammer.
Yeah, it's heavy, but it looks like a.
Well, we won it in the raffle. Everybody got a raffle ticket, and we got that when we came in.
I thought that was kind of neat.
And so, yeah, we just never really got. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it flowed as good as what Daytona did, which I
don't know if they're gonna. They yeah.
Oh,
Well, they have.
so
one
you
in the
did get pics of the small bikes. You must have put, maybe you took pictures of them.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cat House Lovers become.
Oh, the Bob guy. He said he got pictures of the small bikes.
Yeah, the Cat House is, I know that's one of the places we're going to stop at. Looks like they might be online right now. It says the Cat House loves bikes. Bikers, come see us. We got you covered. So that's somebody from Facebook, and I know that's on our list. I think I've seen them come on our channel a couple times and let us know that they love us all, and they stop in there, and the girls will treat you right. Yep, they said Arlen Ness there was a king, he would have been it. Yes, he probably would have been.
Yeah.
I think I met him in Sturgis one year, but I didn't really realize who he was. So get back to my list, since we're not getting very far on my list. So want to give you good news. If you all left when the rally was over, good thing for you. We left on Wednesday. We pulled out of the Buffalo Chip because we heard rain was coming. It got down to about 60 degrees and ice cold rain. Cold. I felt sorry for a lot of the bikers. It rained about half a day. Thursday rained the majority of the day. Excuse me. Friday, it was raining as we left.
Yeah.
So good thing you left. So all that rain held off.
Yep.
All that rain held off. And so we're pretty good for that.
Hi, Shauna.
So we told you about Vegas is canceled, Myrtle Beach, where we're going to be, Angel City, Galveston, told you about all that. The Buffalo Chip, if you guys watch that, we got some tips that we're going to give you if you want to stay at the Buffalo Chip. Here's a couple things that you want to think about if you're staying. If you're coming in a tent, even if an RV, you can get there early. It does cost you, but you can get there early because there's a lot of shade down there, a lot of shade at the Buffalo Chip for tents, not for trailers, but for tents. Or if you had a motorcycle with a little trailer behind it, you could roll that in there, but it's not wide enough to get a vehicle back in there. So you can get there early. You can pay a couple days ahead. You can get there as early as you want. You can get there a month ahead of time if you want to pay. Trailers the same way. But trailer, you've already kind of got your spot. They've already the computer's already kicked you out of spot that you're going to be getting into. So you're not really gaining a lot there, but you definitely do not want to come in on that Friday of opening rally. What a nightmare that was. The Friday before, was it Friday or Monday? Monday was the first Monday, which was the second.
That's when we did the live from.
Yeah. Now that wasn't as chaos. The parking lot, their main driveway coming in, it never got completely full. But on that opening day, Friday, the 6th, I guess it is, it was backed all the way out onto the highway. It was insane. And once 7:30 comes, you're not going through the gate unless you have a motorcycle. A motorcycle, or if you're pulling a motorcycle with a little trailer behind it, you can get in. Because why? Because they have to escort you. If you've got an RV, they have to escort you to your RV site. And at night, there ain't no lights out there, so they ain't going to do it. That's why I guess they figure 7:30 is the end of they wrap it all up. But if you got a motorcycle, don't sit in that line. Go around, go around, go around. So what you do is when you come off the 34 there, you make that quick right. If you're coming from Sturgis, quick right onto
Fort Meade Way.
Fort Meade Way. Then you make a quick left. That's Alzida.
Alkite.
Whatever. It's one of that weird.
It's almost like alkaline.
It's like if you're going to the concert, but you go down there and then the first gravel road to the right, you make a turn there that takes you past the gas pumps and keep going straight. And there's a fenced area there right in front of the ticket booth. You can park your bike and go get your tickets and get your wristband, get all that stuff and ride your motorcycle in. So you can come early and get your good spots. Because guys were doing that. Guys were masking this off, putting up caution tape. And I said something about the office. I said, hey, some of these people are cordoning off like an acre of ground back here. And they're like, hey, they can do whatever they want. There's no boundaries for tent camping. Hey, so I'm just telling you there.
So I wanted to know if we test drove Indian when we were in Sturgis.
No.
But we did the Sports
I didn't talk about that.
ride one. I rode it too.
Yeah. We both took a Sports RS out. Was not impressed at all.
Hurt his back. We didn't even do the whole course. He says, I'm ready to turn around. I said, whatever.
It wasn't comparing that to the Pan America. Pan America is 100 times better bike than that Sports RS. But of course, it's $5,000 difference in price too. But even at that, I wouldn't give you $1,200 for that Sports RS. I didn't like it. It didn't handle very well. It's for the millenniums. they probably would like that bike. It's kind of like riding, you know,
Well,
Honda.
does it have all those buttons that you can make it in this mode and that mode?
Yeah,
The
it's
guy
kinda-
was telling me all that stuff. I said, can I just leave it where it's at and ride it? And he's
It's-
like, oh, yeah.
Got a lot of the same features that the
Pan
Pan
America.
America's got. So it's basically that. With somebody else said it was a lot like a V-Rod. Well, I've rode a V-Rod before, and it wasn't like riding a V-Rod. I rode a V-Rod years ago, and it wasn't like that. It felt different. The V-Rod was actually a little more comfortable. This one, the foot pegs are up kind of far. You're kind of leaning over when you're riding all the time. You can't really sit up on it. More
It
for
hurt
the
my
young,
back, too.
more for
Well,
the young
because
kids.
the pegs were in the front, and then your handle's in the front, so you're kind of in a
So-
C. So, yeah.
So next year, we're going to do the rally totally different from what we had. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me make sure I got all my stuff that I've got answered on my stuff here.
So don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Ken,
yeah.
I can't say his name. Ken said to give us a thumbs up. We got 98 thumbs up and there's 244 people on.
Yeah.
So don't forget to give us a thumbs up for YouTube so they know that you guys are liking us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because things are slowing down. If you watch the last couple of videos, I'm not putting girls on, I guess, and that's what I need to do. I see Adam Sandoval put a girl up the other day and he got 6,000 views. So I guess I'm gonna need to put some more of those bikini girls on my video the next couple
You know,
ones.
I didn't take that many pictures. I don't. They were all hiding. I don't know. I didn't see as many of the girls.
Thunder Beach Rally. Thunder Beach, is that the one in Daytona? I always get these.
Thunder Beach, yes, it's in Daytona.
What's-
No, that's in Panama City.
Yeah.
We're not
Get them
gonna
all
go.
done. So no, we'll be there for the spring, but not for the fall. Why we can't go to Thunder Beach is because there's no camping that's reasonable.
We waited too late, and
Yes.
there's nothing.
Nothing. But I mean, we found something in Myrtle Beach, which was kind of shocking
Yeah,
that we got in there. But we're staying at the state park.
and we have to move 3 times while we're there.
I mean, that ain't the end of the world.
Well, I'm just saying. Sona says hi. We've seen them a couple times. She said she's in West Virginia. Wow, you guys are in West Virginia, and you are in. I think we saw you in Daytona, and we wanted to see you in Myrtle Beach, but never did get to.
The switchback only serves beer. Assuming that's a bar.
There's We Be Buzzing again.
Big Whoop says that they got here late.
Oh,
So mainly we're just letting everybody know where we're at. We're in Springfield, Illinois. We're heading down towards St. Louis, getting ready for Lake of the Ozarks bike rally that'll be coming up here soon. So that'll be happening. Las Vegas Bike Week, or it's actually called Bike Fest, has been canceled due to mask wearing or whatever they're doing out there. I don't know what the heck you're doing. But
did he?
they said that they're going to blink our channel again for talking about it. So we're not going to talk about
They
it.
canceled.
They canceled it. Who knows why? But if you figure it out, you know why. So we already suspected that, and that's why we started giving the option that maybe we would do Florida and stuff. But the whole idea about this is, once again, is we've done pretty well here in Sturgis, but now in the next few rallies, we'll have to see. Subscribers have cut back now on watching videos. These last couple of videos I put up, I thought the bike one would do a lot better too. And it didn't really do a whole
Somebody
lot.
else wanted more, and I said he's got some more to do. There was because you didn't put the one with the wall up either, did
No, I
you?
didn't do the wall yet, and I didn't do a couple other things. that
So
I
we
had in
might
there.
do another patriotic one, or he might.
And but it was just kind of sad. I thought there'd be more. And so
Hi, David.
it's just really weird how people watch YouTube. If I can keep the videos going, then that keeps them. YouTube actually shows videos from last year, and they're showing stuff from a long time ago. There's people still watching the Antifa one from last year, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe those guys are there again. I'm gonna get them." And I'm like, I didn't say nothing. Like, dude, that was last year. But I guess it's popping up on their feed, and they're seeing Sturgis and Antifa showed up, and they're freaking out like it happened this year, and they didn't come. And we were going to talk to the Hells Angels, and that didn't happen. We probably could have. I had nothing to talk to them about. I thought they were going to have their
once we figured out that they weren't going to do the rally there, they'd already had their big get together in Montana the week before Sturgis, so didn't really have a whole lot to say to them. That, and we went and talked to the guys from the Dungeon Bar. We actually got to talk to him 2 times, but never got to videotape the bar and him down there and all that. So next year, I guess we'll have to do that. So Steve Bates, it says you must be from that area in Fayetteville. We were looking for rides and stuff to do when we get down.
Well, he said if
to
you stop
Fayetteville.
by someplace, you could pick up a map. He said it on here.
Oh.
A ways back.
The chip. Oh, leaving the chip ended up using the, Oh, they thanked you for using that road. Yeah, that road ended up not being as bad as we thought.
Well,
that
originally,
bypass road.
yeah.
When we were there that couple weeks before, it was not a good thing to take. They kept wetting it down. They used magnesium water.
So what they do out there, which I don't know what they're doing, but they put this magnesium water on it. And I guess it's kind of like, well, see, back when we're from in Illinois, they rock and chip the roads a lot. They take old oil and they make a tar out of it and they smear it on the road and put a bunch of rock chips on it. And it kind of like makes it like asphalt, kind of like. And then once you drive on it, it throws all the rocks all over your car for the first couple of days. And then it gets in there and it's okay. And there, I guess they put magnesium in the water. And so when we first rode on it pre-rally, it was slick. And there was some really slick places you had to watch. Plus, the rocks would pile up, and it was that soft rock. So if you got your bike in there at all, if you were going too slow, you could dump your bike pretty easy if you're not used to riding on that. But it got a lot better during the rally. Just the hills were still kind of screwed up. I don't know why the hills didn't take to that magnesium. I don't know. I don't know anything about that magnesium. Anybody from South Dakota or any state that uses that?
They kept calling it mag water because the place we're going to stay said they were going to try to do that next year.
Try to cut down on the dust.
Yeah.
That's something they do. And I think they put, I'm not sure, I think it's just the water they were spraying in the buffalo chip the whole time.
Are we going to do a meet and greet in Lake of the Ozarks? We need to.
Wait, what's the problem with the Lake of the, here, Jerry, are you in Lake of the Ozarks? It's been a long time since we've been to Lake of the Ozarks. It's been over 20 years.
Probably longer than that.
Probably about 25. So I don't know what's down there anymore. I know a lot of the bars and stuff are gone. I want to go to make sure. It used to be some of those bars used to charge to get in because they had bands and stuff. They had dance night for the girls and stuff. I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
What was the one place called the Clown?
No, I don't think so.
Top.
One of the places that we used to go to got tore down. I seen that on YouTube. That Shooters or something, maybe it was Shooters 21.
Shooters, yeah.
I think that's the one that got tore down and something else got built. I don't know, but I mean there's a whole lot of new places there, so that's the point that we don't know about when we go to some place we haven't been for a while, or let's say we've never been there, that we don't know where we could say, hey, let's meet here, because that's what we want to try to do. Like of Myrtle Beach and Daytona, we're going to set up a date in the middle of the time and say, here's where we're going to be at. Come to Ormond Beach at this time, and we'll be sitting out at this bar, and you be here for an hour. Show up, great. If you don't, great too. So we'll set up a couple things like that, but we want to try to set it up before anybody gets there, because I think that's where a problem runs into, is some of you don't have internet. You don't have time to be looking at your phone.
Yeah, you guys are busy too. So we have to do it ahead of time. So when you guys get there, this day, this time, we're going to be here. And then you guys can either, if you want to meet us, plan your day around that, or plan to stop there. Or a lot of our ride we went and did in Sturgis, a lot of people said they already had plans that day, or something happened or whatever. So, but it was a nice ride that we had. We had a good amount of people that showed up.
So we'll see how that all goes, because a lot of people are even afraid Florida might shut down. I don't think it will. It could be Daytona does the same thing they did last year in the fall. They closed Main Street down. Who cares? They do, they do. They don't, they don't. We'd still go. Ormond Beach was still open and all that, and it was a good time there. We're going to do rallies a little different after Sturgis here. We're going to pretty much sit back and cover our main things, but we're not going to cover everything. It just isn't going to happen. We ran around so much in Sturgis that I missed so much stuff. It was ridiculous. So we're going to, these next few rallies we do, hey, what happens, happens. What we cover, we cover. She's going to try to set up some appointments ahead of time, talking to some of the chief of polices and stuff like that, like we did in Sturgis, to kind of give you a heads up before we get there.
Some good do's and don'ts so you don't get in trouble.
Yeah. And so things like that. So we're going to just do a little, it'll still be the same channel, but it's just, we're going to do things a little different here. We're going to spend a lot more time doing interviews like we did last year, more with people, where they're from, how they got there, about their bikes. Somebody else said the other day, we spend too much time talking to old people. And is that all that goes to Sturgis? And after I look at the Terrific Tuesday video that I put out for everybody to watch, it was like that. But you have to remember, I did that filming like at 10 o'clock in the morning, because once everything got crowded, I had to stay on the picnic table and guard my equipment so nobody knocked it over.
Well, Ken was there. He was helping.
And which is fine. He did a great job too, but I'm just cautious about my stuff.
Yeah.
And he did a good job of keeping people from knocking anything, and nothing got knocked over.
From the toad. I don't know.
So
It says Lake of the Ozarks clogged from the toad. I don't know if that's the name of a thing now. Somebody said that they're hearing that they're building a new full throttle in Esta Park. Is that in Colorado? Somebody told us that he was opening another bar.
Well, we heard the one in Colorado is already open.
Hmm.
He took an existing place, I think, and already opened it. And I know he's got a few more. So Butler Maps makes an Ozark area map that highlights. I'm getting a bunch of stuff. I signed up for their Facebook page or something, and they send me texts every couple of days, and I haven't opened any of that stuff because we're nowhere near getting there yet. So I don't need to. I'm not looking to plan nothing out. We know the lake area. We kind of know what's still. I don't know what's still there.
If it's still the same.
I mean, the roads are there. Osage Beach is Osage Beach, and
Bagnell Dam.
Yeah, all that. We've been along that. We've been there a bunch of times. So
People Rock.
Ham on the south end of the Pigtail is a gas station called Turner's Bend.
I wrote that down.
And if you take you're all going to
PROG Wildwood. No, that's the one in New Jersey.
We're not getting that far.
North.
We're going to sit down like we do every year. What you can do is in January is when I ask everybody to put a request in for what you would like us to cover. Now, what you got to look at is 3-day rallies just don't cut it unless it's something we're already on our way. I can't travel. Same thing. I can't travel from Arizona over to Ocean City, or like here in this case, I couldn't have traveled from Sturgis to Ocean City and then turn around and come back to Illinois and stuff, and then turn around and then go back down. It's just we're zigzagging
across the United States.
And then we also have to look for places we can afford. See, a lot of times, just like the Laconia, which I'm not liable now because you didn't get me to 25,000 subscribers. Laconia is kind of like that too. It's very expensive up there. You know, we found a few campgrounds that's not too badly priced, but the gas is going to be a lot more expensive there.
Mailbox Farm said we could stay with them, but they're 50 miles outside.
See, that just, it makes it's just too much for us to travel that far every day to do videos. Because I got to come back and edit all this. That's why a lot of people said, how many concerts did you go to at the Buffalo Chip? Somebody's got to edit these videos and get them out by the morning.
We saw part of Kid Rock. I would like to see.
We watched one song of Kid Rock, and we heard the rest as we were walking back.
And then
yes, we would have liked that. And ZZ Top wouldn't have been bad to see. Which I've seen a few videos of that. Clint Black, I definitely would have liked to have seen. But it gets to be where we're up by 7 o'clock and we're out on the road by 8. So I don't know if all of you are getting up that early. It's during the rally, and then we're gone all day long. So, and then I got to get back and I got to edit it and get it all ready to go and get it up at night. Usually I go to bed after I've edited it and it's uploaded. Then I send it to YouTube and then it goes on. If anybody watched the Monkey Man yesterday, he did his video and he ended up saying, man, this is a lot of work. Welcome to my show.
Much of a vacation.
Welcome to my show. And he didn't even put a video out every day. He was just complaining that, not complaining. He was just saying that with his meet and greet, which we were there for his meet and greet.
Yeah.
And we wanted to meet him too. And he did a lot of times. He went out and met people. Hey, I'll meet you here. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you here. Well, then when he did his ride, then he found out he burned up so much memory on his card that when he had it, and he had to download it all on his computer, and it took so much memory that he's like, wow, that was a lot of, which I would have done that. Nobody really wants to see your full ride. It's kind of boring. Anybody does that. I've done that too. A full ride to sit and watch somebody else's bike riding around. Show a little bit of highlights. Show some of the key points.
Even when we film it now, we just film. He'll turn it on for like 3 minutes and turn it off, and then I'll turn the back.
Well, if you watch the Legend ride, the Legend rides, I did that, and we've got a lot of footage of Legend ride that I didn't put up. But how much time do you want to watch me riding around on my motorcycle? Now, I'm not one to talk in my helmet. I just think that sucks. So many people have such bad. Somebody was on live last night down in San Diego. I watched about 10 seconds of it because I couldn't watch anymore because he was trying to do a live stream with his phone traveling on his motorcycle. Wi-Fi doesn't work that well that you can ride around on your bike and rely on the live feed. If you're in a town and you're high enough up, maybe. But then his microphone was so much static and it was cutting in and out. And one time it sounded like he was yelling at you. And it sounded like you couldn't hear him. And that's one of the reasons I don't really want to put a microphone in my helmet. And you know, I can edit it, which I've done before. I've edited after the fact to where, you know, we'll do a ride, and when I have time, that I can sit down. I can sit down and we can talk about a ride as we're doing it. But I seem to do now is I just put the little captions underneath. Hey, first tunnel. Like if you watch, oh, you guys didn't get to see that unless you're a Patreon. I redid my video showing us leaving from the Buffalo Chip and how you get to Iron Mountain and see the presidents. And I videotaped that and I cut it all up. I kind of put part of that once before in another video this year on this while we were there. But I did a special one just for the Patreon people. It's all got music on it. And no talking, no intro, no nothing else.
Hi, Nicole. She's on. They were our road captains and road captains. And you know what? I've looked all over for that darn keychain and I can't find it. So we ordered some more. I'll get you one. It's got to be somewhere. I just probably can't. Don't know where I did with it.
Jerry lives in Lebanon, Missouri.
Oh.
Been there.
Yep.
We used to live in Washington, Missouri. Washington.
And then we moved over to Martinsville.
We actually used to belong to a coast-to-coast campground in
Owensville, Missouri,
which was Lost Valley Lake. So we used to be down in that area a lot. We've had a boat out on. We actually went back when it was Party Cove back in the 80s.
But we're going to be down by Blue Springs. That's not too far from Lebanon either. Tiger Ward, they enjoyed our videos. George says he likes the videos on Patreon. I'm glad, George.
But he said they watch our videos from Afghanistan.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you're on there too. I don't know how many we've got now. 150, and there's 223 on.
They say the Full Throttle there in Trimble, they have a lot of stuff. We almost went, and I didn't go. And I wish now I would have went, because I guess every weekend, I don't know, it's Saturday and Sunday, they have all kinds of stuff going on, rat rods and motorcycle stuff. And it would have been kind of neat. I was thinking about going. It was about 70 miles from where we were staying the first day. And Mike hopes to meet us in Daytona. We'll try to set up some times for that. It's a lot of work. Yep, it is. Ocean City from the Bike Fest is pricey to stay anywhere around there. The best place with the RV would probably be, I can't even pronounce that, Ashatogia Island, which is really close.
Assateague Island.
Okay. I have to write that down.
Which is really close. All right.
Because we're willing to look at some other rallies next year. Some of the rallies, it's like Myrtle Beach. I'm not sold on Myrtle Beach. It's way too much traffic. It's too stretched out. It's, you know, really all you need to really, well, even, what's the park that we were next to?
Barefoot Landing.
Barefoot Landing sucked. All the big vendors were there and nobody showed up. Nobody gets down there. It's really sad that there was no traffic going down there to them. A little farther down was a dealership that they were selling just bikes at the other dealership they had. It was at the North one.
Yeah.
North one. And then the other one was on the other side of Myrtle Beach. And they could open up on Saturday, I think, with their vendors. And see, that's the other thing, Myrtle Beach. They got certain raws. You can only open this day and that day. And
well, I don't think fall's going to be that bad because I think fall's only 4 days. So hopefully they all get to open on the same day. I don't know. We'll see. Street Vibrations, fall.
Oh, so somebody said they did like the ride video that was on the Patreon.
Yeah. George said
St. James, Missouri. We've been to St. James, Missouri, too. Her grandpa used to live, grandma and grandpa used to live in
DeSoto.
And then your other grandma lived down in Missouri.
Piedmont.
So see, we have a lot of stuff going down in Missouri. I like Missouri better than I did Illinois.
Bob never tells us how he really feels. If you don't want to know the truth, then don't ask, because he'll tell you what he thinks.
That's right. And that's why I think that's why our channel is kind of successful, because, you know, a lot of people, which is one of the reasons we don't have any sponsors. You know, we're going to have a few people, which we haven't talked to Ciro yet about their thing, because they want me to start doing stuff right away. I can put some cup holders on my bike, but I don't have a lot of tools with me. And I don't really want to be doing stuff down at rallies when we're down at the rally. So they really want me to start pushing stuff, because Rick Rack got a lot of business from us. I should have got free shots.
Oh, somebody asked about that too. What you think about your
I'm still up in the air about it. They definitely are nice. I just don't know if $3,000
money.
Yeah, $3,000 is a lot of money, and that's cash money I had to pay. I didn't put it on a credit card or nothing. I just paid cash for that, and that's just a lot of money for what was done. But I mean, if compared to if I would have took it to a Harley and had just had the front done and had it lowered, would have been probably $1,500 alone.
Probably.
Then still would have had to get good shocks for the back, or so it's probably not a bad price. But the reason I went with those Legends is because I had so many vendors, and these are vendors, these are guys who are working on motorcycles and stuff, highly recommended those air shocks, those nitrogen shocks in the back. And they are they're 500 times better than the factory.
What we had.
Factory crap was sucked. Harley needs to get rid of that, and they should be putting the nitrogen ones on the bikes from the factory.
Well, it's good when you first get the bike, but very quickly it goes downhill. Oh, it was longer than that.
I mean, they had air in them, so I don't know why, something inside. And then they weren't really leaking oil or anything. I don't know what's wrong with the old ones. They said, "You want the old ones?" I don't need any boat anchors, so I left them there.
You might have.
But we should have got more. We should have got something for that. He bought us dinner, which I do appreciate that.
Yep.
And but I don't think he realized the effect that we have, that you guys listen to what we talk about. And when we talk about products and stuff like that, especially like in that case there, now he's got our sign up that says, "Hey, yeah, seen on Bob and Tam." So it's more easy for you to say, "Hey, I seen that on Bob and Tam. That's why I'm here." Well, one of our subscribers, him and his wife, put them on their bikes all the way around. So there was $6,000 he did on that one customer, not counting the other ones he did. But he was like, "Wow, I really appreciate you guys." So we're looking for something, not looking for him to give us money, but we may do something with him too on the veterans bike that we're going to do. And I'm going to do some stuff on my bike whenever I get time, some accessories and stuff, and show them off. But we have to see what they want to do, because I don't know what to do. I told them, that if it sucks, I put it on there and it's a piece of junk, I'm going to say it's a piece of junk.
And you told them that. They said, if you want to do this, I'm going to tell you.
They didn't answer. So I don't know if they're the kind of person that would just say, if you don't like it, we'd rather you not review it. Well, I would be all right with that, because then what I would tell you is only buy the junk that I tell you if it's good. The rest of the junk is probably junk. That's why you don't want to buy it. So
Nicole wanted to know did you do a video on the ride we had, our ride?
Yeah, I think I did.
You did a live when we left.
I think we did a video on that Spearfish ride. I have to go back and look. You have to look at all this on. I'm pretty sure.
If I find it, I will send it to you, Nicole. And
pretty sure we did do that.
Somebody else wanted to know. They said we did a good job on our videos of the layout of the place. I'm assuming he's talking about Buffalo Chip. He wanted you to do a post one, and he said, "What about drone shots?" Okay,
Buffalo Chip does not allow drones. Well, the bad thing about this year was it was really windy. Windy. I got a little drone. I got the Mini, whatever it is, DJI Mini.
Maverick Mini.
Yeah, and I want to get a different one, but we want to get our license first before we get any bigger. We want to get a commercial license and get a nice drone. I mean, these nice drones are like $5,000. And have one that's a little bit better in the wind and all that kind of stuff. This one's been really good. I only paid like $500 for it, and I've got my money out of it. But this time we didn't fly it at all. I was going to fly it somewhere, and I got it out, and the batteries were only half charged. And I'm like, no, you don't fly a Mini without the batteries being fully charged, especially in any kind of wind. And
because it'll say, I'm good, and then boom, there it goes, and you have no idea where it's at.
Yeah, and then it won't send you a signal, and you've lost the drone, and you're out everything.
So Buck's on, hi Buck.
So I charged it all up, but we did not get it up. But I mean, that's why I said last year I did so much more stuff. I did the veteran cemetery. I didn't fly over it. I didn't know if that'd be disrespectful. We flew it on the other side of the highway, and I got some great shots and stuff like that. And we did some stuff downtown, and I didn't do any of that. The drone never came out at all. Charged the batteries up. That's as far as I got. But every day this year, which is the same reason why the dust was so bad, it was very, very windy. The one day that we were going to fly it for the flags and get me a shot up high of the flags, I could have stepped over on the next lot across the street, which I could have filmed. You can film around the property. You can't stop you from doing that. He just can't stop you. But legally, you're not allowed to fly over people. So anybody that flies a drone, roads. Yeah. So you really, if you follow the rules you're supposed to do, a lot of these drone shots that people shoot would be illegal. They could be fined by the FCC, FAA,
I don't know, whatever.
Federal Aeronautics, whatever.
Administration.
Yeah.
So George, is that ride on YouTube? That was our ride that we went on. So he said it was on YouTube. And Lewis said hi. He said he tried to.
I did film all that, because I remember now that I filmed us. Because I filmed like when we were sitting when we stopped the very first place.
Yeah.
I filmed all that when everybody drove in,
Yep.
and then we filmed. Yeah, so yes, that video did come up.
All right.
And
You just
everybody
have
did.
to look for it, Nicole. Sorry. And then Lewis said hi. He tried to catch up with us in Sturgis, but we walked too fast, which I don't know. You must not walk very fast because I don't walk very fast anymore. Used to. My kids had to run to keep
Which
up.
is, well, if there's a crowd and stuff, it's tough. One of our subscribers actually caught us a whole bunch of times on the street cams, and he sent us pictures of that. And so he was watching to see if he seen where we were at. He tried to go back in the timeline and took some snapshots of us.
We've got one guy, I don't know. He's down in Sullivan, Missouri.
That's him. That's the same
Oh,
guy.
that's what you're
That's what I
talking
said.
about?
So,
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, he's I think what he's doing is watching when we were filming opening day, and then he was watching the video of the live stream, maybe at the same time. First time he didn't see me, and I said, "Hey, that was me in the blue shirt." And so then after that, he looked and he started looking for us, and he took about 6 or 8 pictures from the internet of us being downtown.
Yeah.
And but I mean, a lot of times it wasn't, which a lot of people did come by. We were doing a lot of lives. Most of our lives were from Loud American.
Yeah.
So you could have went down there, and a lot of people did. Never, even if we're doing a live, never hesitate to walk up to us unless we're interviewing somebody. If I've got somebody on camera and we're interviewing, not a live, the odds are that's another subscriber too that we're talking to. It's not. I don't want to say it's not somebody special. You all are special, but you can interrupt with that and say, hey, we're YouTubers or we're subscribers and we want to say hi, and, she'll give you a sticker and all that kind of neat stuff. So don't hesitate to talk to us. But it's tough to try to get stuff set up to meet everybody.
So Nicole, it was called the Spearfish Canyon Ride is what George said. And who else was I going to say something about? Oh, Luis Chavez. Yes, our opening shot is of Santa Monica Pier. It's from Santa Monica Pier going north. So, 2-lane tours. What did you do for a living before you retired?
Me or her?
I'm assuming you, Bob. It says Bob.
Well,
you be Bob.
I spent about 25 years in the automotive field. I was an auto mechanic. I was a service manager. I sold Mac tools for a while. I owned some shops. Got tired of that. We moved to California for her job, and I went to work for Southern California Gas, and I was a gas technician. So for 17 years, I did that job. I really liked that job. I was actually president of the union for 3 years. It was a full-time job during that time, and I really liked that too. And this is similar to that, and we can talk about that someday. That would be kind of lengthy for me to get in and explain why this is similar to that. But that's what I did. She's been in. Well, not when we first got married. When we first got married, she just did odd jobs. She worked at a stationery store, and she worked
as receptionist at an insurance company and a glass company. And
so after the kids were born, and in the 80s, she decided she was thinking about going back to school. And so she went and was checking out jobs, and I'm like, hey, if you get a good job, go for it. So she was going to be a x-ray technician, and she went to school for that and found out she'd have to work all the time at nights and weekends and all that. So
holidays.
She said that kind of sucks. So
my kids were little.
So she ended up going back to school and got a job doing radiation therapy, which treated cancer patients.
Oh, we got a super chat.
From who?
Dennis Neal. Dennis M. Neal. $20. Thank you.
So that's how we ended up going to California. They offered her a job in California that we could not refuse. And so what I did is I sold all my tools I had from being a mechanic for all those years. I sold for $2,500 because I was tired of being a mechanic. Because you wouldn't believe how many places I've never been fired, or I got laid off once in '79. Other than that, I've never been fired or lost a job. I've worked as long as an hour in a place, and as long as a couple hours. One thing I can't put up with is stupid people. And not the customers, but the people that you work for. When you have a boss that tries to tell you something that he don't know crap what he's talking about, it's like, stick it up your butt, dude. Well, I don't like the way you're talking. Well, I can roll my toolbox right back into my truck and see you later. And go to the next shop and say, hey, you want a good mechanic? Yeah. And when are you going to start? Now? Okay. Pull your box off. So, yeah. So somebody else here, I want to do this one because this was asked. Somebody wanted to know, how did we like the chip? They had walked through it and they thought it was kind of run down, and they were kind of comparing it. They ended up saying it's the full throttle. Okay, so we just did a video yesterday. Yesterday came up. You can go over there, and it's kind of our talking points about the Buffalo chip. What makes the Buffalo chip isn't anything new and fancy there. No. It's just an older campground. Bathrooms are all right. They do have people there that are cleaning them nonstop. I had heard horror stories, people saying people pooped in the showers and all that stuff. That did not happen. The toilets weren't stopped up. Never when we went there were they stopped up. We went to the south bathroom all the time and never had problem. There was a guy and a girl there all the time until I don't know what time they quit working at night. And they were asking for tips and stuff, but they were always in there. The showers were clean. I didn't see, pubic hair or whatever they said. Oh, a ton of where somebody we read the other day said they picked up a ton of pubic hair or something.
Oh yeah, that was Pussy Willow. She had to clean up her.
She bought a house
in Death Valley.
All right, you don't need to tell the whole story about that.
But anyway.
So what makes the buffalo chip so great is the concerts. Okay, just like somebody else said on here, it took them an hour and a half to get back to the full throttle after they left Kid Rock. Well, if you're staying there, first of all, I don't think you're going to find, like last year, and you probably get those rates now if you call. Last year, we got RV spot with 50 amp, with water, for the whole rally, 2 wristbands for $14.50. And all the concerts are free. You can walk over to them. You can ride your bike over to it. You can ride your golf cart, your bicycle. You can fly a plane. However you want to get over there to chat, you can. You don't have to park. You don't have to park way over there on the other side and then fight the traffic in and out. So that's what the Buffalo Chip has on everybody else is their concerts is number 1. Number 2, they have so much stuff. They had 13 bike shows going on there. They had t-shirt contest. They had the beauty contest. They had lingerie boxing, which wasn't very much. One of my videos shows that at the very end.
Very poor.
Very poor acting.
Did you get a bug?
I don't know. And so that's what the Buffalo Chip has in it for it. And if you're doing just camping, you're just going to do a tent, $200. If you get it early, which we got pretty early, and we paid $250 for our band. I don't know how this guy, when we were there, said he only paid $200 for his band.
It was $1,450, and we got the pre-rally too. We booked from August 2nd through the 16th. So that was more than just the week. It was those few days before too, the 4 days before.
So you got all that
14 days
for that price, and they got all that stuff that's going on. I never had no idea. Plus, there's so much stuff out there that's just free. All those bike shows are free. You can go to them and watch them all, and they got all kinds of events going on. And that's what's really great about the Chip. Pappy Hoyle's over there, which is full throttle. Jesse now runs that. Him and his wife have got taken over the campground. And it's okay. But other than having a swimming pool over there, which everybody told the water was ice cold, what's going on over there? Do they have any bike shows? Do they have t-shirt contests?
Well, they put that thing out in front. The circus act girls on the motorcycle.
How much? I've seen it, done it, been there. You didn't see us stop and film it again.
Yes, we have. We have nice weather where we're at, and Louis Chavez says $2,500. You gave away your tools.
Yes, I did.
So, oops, what's his name? I just missed him. Steve Espinoza.
Somebody said they spent $300 for a hotel in Keystone a night.
Wow,
that's high.
Night, yeah. So this guy wants to get Speed's Performance to put pipes on his Fat Boy Low next year and wants to know if he should buy a Toyota Tundra to trailer his bike. I don't know. If you don't want to ride it, I guess. I don't know if you should buy a new truck unless he's just trying to get a new truck.
Yeah. Hey, I say it's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's do it.
Get a good deal.
So yeah.
Go to best place we got our truck is through Sam's Wholesale Club. They get you a price and you tell them we went through 3 states and I ended up getting that Ford truck from a dealer in Las Vegas for $5,000 off of retail price. Nothing was wrong with the truck. My camper's small enough, but it qualifies as a tent. I paid $260 with electric for my wife and I. Was that Big Whoopie? Was that at the Buffalo Chip?
Some bike shows. And the water was cool. I guess they had some bike shows at full throttle, but they said the water was cold.
Yeah, we heard that. Somebody else said that because we found out that Pappy Hoyle's campground, anybody can swim in that swimming pool. It's open to everybody.
I don't think everybody's supposed to know that.
Well, I asked, and they told us it was true. So, hey,
We'll shove it
all of
aside.
our
We got to
subscribers
say
need to know.
ka-ting.
Next
Oh,
year
Big
is a
Whoop
chip,
said
all 10 days.
They stayed at Iron
We're not
Horse.
saying a chip
Big
next
Whoop.
year. Just FYI, we're not saying the chip. We got a new announcement. It'll be next week of where we're going to stay. And you guys, it's not a party campground. So we got offered.
You guys can stay there with us.
Yeah. Well, not in our campsite, but you
Well, no, but at the campground. Somebody else, the X39 said they stayed at Butte Lake and it was cool.
stay at the Iron. Big Whoopie says they stay at Iron Horse, and a lot of those campgrounds along the road there. Iron Horse. There's is it Ride and Rest there? What's all the ones right there?
Yeah, there's Ride and Rest, Iron Horse, Bear Butte campground that's kind of way back in there, and then there was another one, Easy Rider.
Yeah, and then
There's
across the street's that other one. That guy.
Drag Pipe.
Yeah, a lot of people say they've stayed there too. He's pretty reasonable. But I mean, the bad thing about what we look at is, and that's why we're moving to this other campground, which he gave us a heck of a deal. So I couldn't refuse it. And what's bad about the buffalo chip, if you watch the video from yesterday that we put up, the only reason I'm not doing the buffalo chip is when we stay at the buffalo chip again, we're never going to leave the property. We're going to stay the whole time and film all their activities. Oh, we got another super chat, $15 from Ken.
Hey, Ken, thank you.
For the nation.
We should be paying him. He's doing our moderating.
And Sal gave us $9.99.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Sal.
Thank you, Sal.
I didn't see that one.
I think it just popped up too.
Oh, okay.
It just came up
Thank
really
you.
quick.
We appreciate
So
it.
that's the reason we're not staying at the Buffalo Chip this year. Now we're going to get passes. They'll give us passes again so we can get in and look around and film all the stuff that's going on. But concerts just make it tough for me to do concerts because I'm trying to put out stuff every day. And because the more stuff I put out, one, nobody can keep up with us. Nobody can put out the videos that we put out. And I got there. Well, I kind of got ripped off, which the guy that ripped me off is fine. He's somebody we know. He started putting videos out about a week before the rally actually started. And I'm not sure if he's even put any videos out yet. And he's a great guy. And he watches our channel and stuff. So he might even be on here not saying nothing. But I'm going to do that next year. I forgot my hard drive from last year. And I thought I had it with me. And then when I went to go look on it, it didn't have all those rides that I had. And I was going to post a lot of stuff that we didn't get to do, but repost it. I'd re-edit it and put it back out again as a different video, but it would have looked just like we did it today. Like Custard. We never went down to Custard's Park and seen the bison and all that. So didn't get any of that. Next year is going to change. We'll talk a little bit about next year if you guys want to talk about that. We're not going to tell you where we're going to stay, but we'll tell you what pre-rally is going to be.
Kevin said he went $169 at the Comfort Inn at Custer State Park, and it was perfect. They had an open lot next door to park their trailer, so that's
not bad.
But did you guys ever go out like late at night? Like if you guys wanted to go to the concert, that's a long way to drive back if you wanted to stay out late somewhere. So I'm assuming you guys like don't go to the concerts and stuff like that.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I can see about staying far. Like we stayed in Rapid City last year, 2 years ago, but during the rally we were. Where we stayed at? Oh, we stayed in town for just the rally itself. And that's what we're going to do next year. We're actually going to be out in Rapid City for probably 2 to 3 weeks before the rally. We're going to be staying at
Rushmore Shadows.
Rushmore Shadows. It's right down the street from Bearzilla.
It's not Bearzilla. It's called Bear Country, I think.
Yeah.
There.
Well, we have one in Arizona. It's called Bearzilla.
It's the same place, but yeah, it's called Bearzilla.
Different, like brother and sister own it or something. One's.
They want to know about kickstands too.
Kickstands. I don't know. We've tried to talk to them last year several times about going online. We've always talked to the husband, which it's a husband and wife own it.
And Kim.
And we've been told, well, this year they've always done what they call a pre-rally party for local people. It's a local person's rally that they have. So they were because we were doing that Deadwood 3-wheel rally. So they were going to do that the week before. So we had it all set up. She said, call us back. We'll set it all up for you guys to come in. Called them up, and she says, no, we're not going to do it. But we heard there's been some issues over there this year. We don't have anything to confirm that anything happened. I don't know. We've just never really got.
It's kind of cool there because they've got concerts there too. Like they don't have name brand, but they had Waylon Jennings' grandson there last year. Not this past year.
Yeah, I don't know who they had. We tried to get hold of them this year to talk to them about getting their information and stuff, and they never called us back. So once again, it's another one of those campgrounds that really aren't You know, either they got too much business or I don't know.
That just blew your theory. Somebody said that's where they thought we were going to be staying. Kickstands.
No. Kickstands is, I don't know. We know from Speeds, Performance Plus, they're good friends with them, and they actually have a Speeds night there during the rally or pre-rally or something that they go. And we went there last year, and it looks like it's a nice place. It's got a bar and stuff there. I don't know. Really, the great campsites are the ones that are all down there in the creek, by the creek down there. That you know, there's no hookups or anything like that. The rest of it's kind of like a little bit on a hill there, and I'm assuming they got full hookups and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it would be a really neat campground, and I thought they act like they really wanted to talk to us last year and never got around to it. And then this year we got there extra early. She called them months before, and nothing ever happened. And then somebody told us right before we left that they heard there was some issues there this year. That's all I know. So, well, we get to the point where, like we did, we tried to get a hold of Hog Heaven and talk to the girl, Sandy, or whatever her name was, said she would call us Friday so we could do an interview with her. She'd show the camp, never called us. I don't care.
Well, we understand it's rally and they're really
I don't care.
busy.
Because what I tell people, just like here, there was one of our subscribers actually was staying at a campground that he wanted us to go to. He thought they would actually offer us a free stay to help promote their campground. Nope, never heard from them either.
They said Shade Valley looked nice when we videotaped that.
Well, we heard some problems about that too. We never got it. We should call the people and
talk to them.
Yeah, so we don't know what's going on out there.
So,
we did stay at Shade Valley, but it was a previous owner owned it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on now.
What's our annoying habit that you dislike about each other? We've been around each other so long now. It's like nothing.
Used to be.
Oh, yes.
I could scratch my throat.
And you know what? My cousin used to do that when I was little, and I hated it. And then I married him, and he did it. And now my grandkids do it. I'm like, I'm never going to get away from that. Anyway, so what's my annoying habit?
I probably shouldn't say.
He doesn't like anybody twirl her hair. I know
she don't really twirl her hair. So
I watched you on YouTube. Hey, George, are you back? Did you guys lose us?
Yeah, because it's still on our YouTube is running still.
I don't know. He must be back. He put
the Nemo Guest Ranch is already booked for 2022. Nemo Guest Ranch. Nemo Guest Ranch. Where's Nemo Guest Ranch at?
Nemo's down there. You know where Nemo's at?
Oh. All right. Oops. Kick the camera.
So, yes, we're retired.
No, I don't. What Big Whoopie says that they think that Shade Valley will rival the Buffalo Chip. I don't think they will. I think what their problem is out there is they don't have the ground to bring in the people to justify big name bands there. That's the problem that they have. They got a nice stage. They got some money behind them. They've got some good thoughts. But if you got rid of the campground, yes, they could probably get but once again, you're now 7 more miles out there on the other side of the Buffalo Chip. You know how many people don't go to Full Throttle anymore because they're so far out there? And that's
7 miles out to 79. Yeah. This is 7 miles out to 30.
I have a lot of people that just tell me, nope, we don't go out there anymore. Now we go out there, but we don't go out for concerts anymore. We did last year. We went out there to see Jackal and stuff. But that's a long ride if you're coming back into town to stay, or the farther out you're going. But like I say, look at the track. So there's my antidote. Think of the Buffalo Chip letting out of their concerts, and Shade Valley lets out about the same time. How long do you think it'll take from Shade Valley to get past the Buffalo Chip if they're letting traffic out? And I'll bet you
it'll back up all the way to there.
Because they're going to let probably more of the Buffalo Chip will get more attention getting out of there than anybody else's. I don't know if they work those lights or not. I don't pay attention out there if the city's out there or the county is working the lights to get more people out of the Buffalo Chip or not. I don't know. But they've got a good idea out there. But if you look at their ground where they've got the stage at, 5,000 people would be a lot of people in that area right there. A lot. Where are you going to put all those bikes at? They just don't have enough ground there to cover all that. So that's the point. I don't think they will. I don't think there'll be a big threat. You know, it's kind of like the Iron Horse downtown. You know, they bring in some different bands and stuff, and same thing. They only got so much room to put people in there. They can't bring in, and you know, they can't bring in ZZ Top or somebody like that and expect to, you know, Full Throttle's got the room. They could bring in bigger bands if they wanted. See, the bad thing with the Full Throttle is that they started charging at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to get into the Full Throttle, which people still be showing up out there. Oh, got another super chat from Lewis, $4.99.
Oh, thank
you,
Lewis. There you go. You need to say "pating" every time that happens. So, what was I going to ask? Yes, we are retired, but we do not live out of our RV. We do have a home, but we're never there. It's in Arizona. Lewis asked that. There was another one I wanted to answer too. And
the Big Whoop went out and seen Great White when they played out there this year and said that the bugs are really bad. Bugs are bad everywhere. Well, the Full Throttle, or not the Full Throttle, but the Buffalo Chip, the bugs weren't too bad because there's no grass left. It's just dirt. So I think that's why the mosquitoes and all that.
And the flies kind of went away too. Yeah. They were horrible. And then everybody came and the flies left.
Yeah. So I don't know what's with that. I don't know what happened there, but
it was kind of funny.
The mosquitoes and stuff there weren't too bad. But yeah, when you get out there.
So we're not going to go to Ocean City, but yes, somebody, Jonesy72, Jonesy asked, we are going to Myrtle Beach this fall and probably next spring.
Yeah. So we'll do Myrtle Beach. I'm not sure about next spring. We'll look and see what else is around during that time. Like I say, I'm not sold on Myrtle Beach. It's not a bad rally to go to maybe every couple of years, but I don't know if it's worth every year. It's like some people, like the monkey guy said he's thinking about not going to Sturgis next year. Sturgis, see, I can see going to Sturgis all the time because you just can't see, you can't do it all. There's so much stuff to do. It's like these 13 bike shows that there. You know, that's almost one whole week of you being there just to go and make sure you see all the bike shows and check out all the bikes and stuff. Daytona's kind of like that. So many things we missed last spring that we didn't get to that we'll try to get to this year when we go down there in the spring. Fall, I don't know how big the events will be to determine all the things we do or not. But I mean, like when I did the slaw wrestling last year, I won't be filming that again. It wasn't. I can put up last year's that we did in the spring, and you'll never know it was any different. We did get it right up front. He gave us front row seats and everything. I was inside the cage. And
yes, we are staying at the state park when we go to Myrtle Beach. That's where we're staying, Jonesy72.
Are you still at the Chip and is it empty? No, we left the Chip Friday and everybody was gone. Pretty much by Thursday. There was one last tent guy that he left, I think.
The same day we did.
I think we told him that he was down there, and they went and told him he had to go. Because I said,
well, there was a truck down there. And he said that truck's been sitting there for a couple of days, and I said, well, I hope there's not somebody inside there, you know. So we said something up at the office, and then when we came back, I'm like, oh, there is a tent stuck back in there.
And then right after that, he's packing up. So he was gone. There was a few workers still there on property, just finishing up. They got all the junk hauled off. 50 frames of easy ups that got tore up.
Oh my gosh.
A handful of tents.
Kind of looked like the movie from Will Smith, the Wild West, the way the West was run or something. Remember all those things that walked around? That's what it looked like. They were everywhere. It was like there was an invasion of the pop-up. I don't know. Poopy Cycle Silo.
So the Nemo, so Ken asked about the Nemo Guest Ranch. We could find out about that. We could call the guy that owns Branding Iron,
Adam,
and see what he thinks about the campground, if he recommends it or not. Other than that, we don't really know much about Nemo. Where's the best place?
Best collection of vendors.
Are you talking about Sturgis? If you're talking about Sturgis, it's Rapid City Harley. That's where 90% of the good vendors are all there. Now, there is a few exceptions to the rule. This is like Speeds. Speeds can't be on the property because they have their own dyno in the back, so they won't let him on the property. So he's over there on LaSalle Street. That's about it. Tires, you can shop around for tires. I bought tires down there on LaSalle Street too. I bought it from JMP. I got my tire from there because it looked like the dealer wasn't going to give any discounts on tires. So, hey, I'm always looking for a deal.
So, Melanie, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And thank you for supporting our channel. She said they won't be at any bike events for a while. Her husband's fighting for his life. So
We will
I'm
pray for
sorry,
him.
yes. Only 25 rides ahead of Sturgis this year was sort of where we go today. Yeah, that's kind of how it was with us. I don't know. I just felt very disorganized this
And a lot of
year.
people said that they thought our videos this year were better. And the only reason I could think that you would think it was busier or better was that we spent more time, showing you just a few vendors, not all of them like we normally do. Go around and talk. So we only talked to our handful of preferred dealers, and that was it. So we didn't get around and talk to Van Nuys and all the different other places that we kind of just give shout outs for. We don't know them personally. So we kind of only stuck with our personal vendors. We did add the one guy, the guy who was selling the bells, that was a veteran over there at the Full Throttle. We kind of added him this year, and we'll be adding him to some other videos. He had a good cause. Him and his wife's got their own little business there. I like it. It's quiet. We're on loop 6. I don't know where loop 6 was at. What are some of the other YouTubers you all watch on your own time, and would you ever do a collaboration? The bad news is that we don't really watch motorcycle channels. I used to watch Adam Sandoval a lot. Not so much anymore. Right now he's gotten back to doing motorcycle stuff again, but he got off doing Jeeps and Indians and all the different, nothing wrong with Indian bikes. And I just kind of shied away from watching all of his videos. Now, he said the other day he watches all of our videos, which is great. And I try to kind of catch up on some of them. Professional Monkey, he's just different. He's got a different kind of channel than we have, and I'll leave it at that. And but that's about it. A couple other people we chat in with, a couple other small YouTubers. One YouTuber jumped on our live stream and made it look like he was going to put us on his channel. So I'll remember that, dude. Next time you come around, yeah. And so he's smaller than us. Now, nobody probably grew like we did, which we did. We gained a little over 4,000 subscribers for the 30 days. Ending today, going back 28 days, we've gained almost 4,000 subscribers. So I think
you all.
Yes, thank you, appreciate it, and we're still growing. I'm still banging out. We just hit 1,500 the other day, and I think we're 15,000. I think we're already got the first 100 in on that already.
1,100 it says right there.
So we already gained another 100 just in a day or two. So it's great that people are still checking us out and subscribing, and a lot of people don't look at all that. I do, because I've always look at the numbers, because this is a business. If you're going to do this as a hobby, then you're not going to do it very long, because it's kind of like the monkey guy yesterday. He was kind of talking about it.
You get out what you put in it.
That he's finding out this is a bunch of work, and he wanted this to be more fun and this and that. And there's another YouTuber that does motorcycles that was saying the same thing, that hey, we're not gonna keep doing this and this and this and this. Well, then you don't take it seriously. This is a business, and if you're not gonna make money, it's why do it? And because
we do it for you guys too.
Well, you do it for a couple things. One, which is when I talk about my presidency. Why do I do this? Well, it's really happened in Sturgis. We can make things happen
to help others,
and we've got connections now with the city. Just show you something just stupid. We're over at Speeds Performance Plus Friday or something last week.
No, it was Thursday. I don't know.
Before the rally started.
Yes.
And he was way down there by the Indian dealer coming back, and I'm like, dude, what do you go get breakfast, or what are you doing? Where's mine? And he's like, no, I gotta go down there and throw the trash away. He says, 10 years we've been on this corner, and they've always put a big trash can out here for us. I said, do you want a trash can? And he says, yeah. I said, make your phone call, see what you can do. 30 minutes later, they pull up and they dump a trash can in front of his building. So now, which that's
a small thing, but it meant a lot to him.
That's right. And it's something that when I was union president, that's what I dealt with. I dealt with a very large corporation in California, and I represented 5,500 employees, and I love to make things happen. I love to help people. I love to give out good information. I love all that. It's like adrenaline to me. And that's what I get out of this channel. It was tough for the first 6 months or so when we got the Sturgis and stuff, because you do get the haters out there, and I still get the haters. And when we get busy, when we're quiet and the videos aren't real banging out, I don't get the haters. I get my normal subscribers watch us, and
our true loyal fans.
yeah. So we get really good comments and questions and stuff like that, and that's great. And most of the people I blow off, and I don't say a whole lot about any of them. But sometimes once in a while they poke me with this, it's like poking the bear. You poke him long enough, he's going to turn on you. And I do on a few people every now and then. And but I really enjoy what we do. We have a lot of fun doing this. It's beats sitting at home on a couch and watching life go by.
Because we're retired, and we have a lot of friends that are retired that kind of do that.
My brother don't do nothing. Go see him. He'll probably be on his couch watching the tube.
His sister watches, but I don't think his brother watches us. I don't know. They want to know where we're headed next.
We're going down to St. Louis. We're going to spend Labor Day weekend down at a campground on the Merrimack River. And we're going to visit some relatives while we're down there. We're originally from Illinois and Missouri. We lived there for most of our life. And so after that, we're going to be heading down to Lake of the Ozarks. Be first time for that. I've always thought about going there when we used to live there, but it just never could pull the trigger to go. So last year we heard they had 150,000 people showed up
during the craziness.
That's right. So I'm like, we need to go check that out.
I know that himself we're not going. He said we should have went, but we didn't. We figured it was.
Well, we thought it was going to be in Labor Day weekend, and we didn't find out till it was after Labor Day. So where we had something else going on Labor Day. I just didn't want to. I don't like to be doing rallies during holidays like that. You already got enough congestion going on Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day.
Yeah, at the lake down there. That was.
I don't want. Nothing wrong with that. If you got a rally that goes over one of those holidays, that's great for you. But me, I'd rather not be involved with all that. We don't normally. We usually take our boat out, and when we sit in a little party in a cove, and we sit there the whole weekend, and that's all we do. And I don't fight with all the crowds. I don't, the tourists and all that. Not for me. You go to all these rallies. Well, these aren't tourists. These are bikers.
There's a big difference. So somebody wanted to know if we're going to go to Street Vibrations in Reno.
No.
It's probably canceled. They canceled Vegas. Anyway. They canceled Vegas, and I'm sure they're going to cancel Reno.
Well, I went about 15 years ago to the fall rally, and it sucked back then. And so we thought we'd go to the spring one, and we kind of talked to people. And it's great to go up there to Virginia City and hang out, and that's where all the action is. Probably every Saturday you can go up there and see people flashing and all that stuff.
Virginia City is probably the place to be.
But the rest of it, the dealership has some vendors and stuff, but downtown, it's always kind of sucked. And once again, that promoter down there that runs downtown is a clown. He's a butt clown. And because of that, we probably will never go back for that event. The dealership was really nice. We liked the one dealer over the other dealer.
Carson City.
Yeah, Carson City. Yeah, Carson City dealer, we really liked him. He was a great guy, very friendly.
It was nice, but
and
they didn't have as much going on.
Yeah. So I don't know. But no, we probably won't go to Street Vibrations again unless we got nothing better to do going on.
So they said they went to Topless Tuesday last year, but they're probably not going to go back because they couldn't see nothing. So tell them the antidote to that.
You got to be there by about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Or
watch our video.
Yeah.
You got to go to Patreon for $25, and you already see part 1's already up, and part 2 is going to come up next week. You can see better than you would have seen anywhere else. 50 girls.
The best seat in the house.
That's right. So that's all on there.
And
so you can see all that. People
said thank you for what we do when you were talking about
I've seen that.
Okay.
And so the other thing, just like that, unless the guy wants to do something special with us, we probably won't go back to Terrific Tuesday either, because that's a long way to go out there to see a handful of girls. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people there. People are standing in front of everybody. See, what I wanted to do, which didn't work out, I wanted tables to be taken out of there, make people stand, and then that way you don't have nobody can stand over. Like the monkey guy said, everybody had their phones up taking pictures, so you're back there, and I can't see around the camera. So yes, it did kind of suck. I told the guy he needs to go someplace else, put up a flatbed trailer and have it open to where people can it's hot, tough crap. You want to see some stuff? Little sun ain't gonna kill you. Drink some water. and get them out there, and you get plenty of people around and have a great time. But yes, I don't know. Right now, we probably, unless this video takes off like I thought it would, but it's not. I thought we'd get maybe 1,000 people would want to watch this, and I can make. Well, I know there'd be a cutoff of it that Patreon takes, but I thought, hey, if we could make $15,000 off of 1,000 people watching it, that would really do good for next year. I could go ahead and we could put Laconia down. We could put a lot of these rallies down Ocean City because we would have enough money in the bank to pay for the campgrounds and the places we need to stay in all those places. Well, right now it's not going like that. We've gotten to probably half a dozen, maybe more.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
less than
like
12.
52.
Yeah, which we're doing really good.
Patreon.
I'm really
Thank
happy
you.
with Patreon.
Thank
It's
you,
really,
thank you,
really,
thank you.
really going good. Because if I got to the point where I could make $2,000 a month just on our Patreon, we could drop down to maybe 2 videos a week, do a live during the week, and the rest of the time I do stuff on Patreon, and we would do we would just cut back on what we're doing, and we could do.
It wouldn't be as hectic, I guess. Not
Because what ends up happening
hectic.
is when I drop down to 3 days a week, YouTube drops me. They don't recommend us to anybody. So it ends up being only you guys are the only ones that see that we got anything going on. And I get anywhere from 500 to 2,000 people watch the video, and that's it. Well, that ends up being a couple $100 a month. After all those videos put out, a couple $100 is all you get out of it all. And it's a lot of work.
I don't know 100% that Reno's canceled, but they did cancel Las Vegas Bike Week, so I'm assuming they will probably cancel Reno too. I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. But everybody's saying, what?
I would
Reno's canceled?
I would
canceled?
call Carson's, Harley Davidson, and ask them. If they tell you it's canceled, if they tell you they're not going to have any vendors on their property, then don't go.
Yeah, it's
because what they had for the fall was a joke. They had people selling matches. They had 3 people in the whole place that were selling motorcycle stuff. One person was selling leathers. Another person was selling headlights, shocks, which was the same guy. And another guy was selling some kind of backrest for your seat, which wasn't even in his booth. So that was it. The rest of it was just junk that you would see at a flea market.
That was in Virginia City.
No, that was down in Reno.
Oh,
Carson City.
Okay.
Carson City only had 1 vendor on his lot, which he said he wasn't going to have any vendors anyway.
Yeah.
So it was surprising he had 1 or 2 there to start with. But Virginia City, all they had was food vendors. There was no motorcycle products at all.
T-shirts.
And well, I don't know for that. It was mostly all food. Bunch of junk food, and you're better off eating inside. We did a video on that too. Go back and watch that food.
It's a story on Laughlin River Run. Will it ever happen again?
It's gone. It's over.
Well,
what's happening is there's another guy named Larry. He's actually got a Facebook page going. He's trying to get something started on the Bullhead City side. He's going to call it the Bullhead City River Run. I don't know. He's got an uphill battle because
he said he's got a lot of stuff going, so he's getting geared up for it.
We may eventually get to talk to him and see what he's got going on. But you still got to get the hotels on the other side. See, what ended up happening with Laughlin is 2 things. One, back in 2001, 2002, they had that shooting, and that ruined it. There's a lot of shootings in Sturgis. There's been a couple of them. Somebody died in Sturgis this year. But you don't see it anywhere, do you? They're real good about covering crap up. Can't find nothing. Just like that. The Hells Angels had an issue going down there on Thursday night. Nothing anywhere. We had to rely on some vendors to tell us what they seen because it's not in the paper. It never hit the news. And the police said there was no arrest. So there's no record. So a good city, like Myrtle Beach. You know what Myrtle Beach is known for?
Murder Beach, they call it.
Somebody gets killed every day in Myrtle Beach.
That's not funny.
Yeah, but the point of it is they can cover it up. Nobody hears about that. Somebody gets killed right down there on that Ocean Boulevard where I tell you not to ride your bike. Don't go. That's another reason not to go down there because they're killing people down there. But you don't see any of that on the news, do you? But some of these cities are really good about that. Laughlin got railroaded by that one shooting, and there's been other shootings in Sturgis too that were gang related. Not gang, motorcycle clubs. They don't want to be called gangs. Motorcycle clubs did a shooting, and you don't hear anything about it because the city knows bad publicity is going to hurt their city, so they smush it down. And the newspapers and the TV stations all know that, so it don't go anywhere. Myrtle Beach knows that, so they punch it down because they don't want anybody to know that it's known as We didn't know it until all the locals told us we were down there. They're like, oh, you're talking about Murder Beach? I'm like, Murder Beach? What's that? They said, we've been living here our whole life. There's somebody gets killed down there every day. Somebody gets shot, stabbed, or killed.
Kind of like Chicago.
Yeah. And it's like, really? I said, I've never heard that. He says, you won't. And we were probably a dozen or more people that were locals that lived there their whole life told us that that was a normal thing that happens in Myrtle Beach. And it's like, they're real good at keeping it quiet. So you look at all these other little towns and say, oh, we never have any trouble. Well, it depends on if they can keep the lid on it. But Laughlin couldn't. They ruined it. And what the other thing about that happened with Laughlin is bikers don't gamble. They drink. And the casinos rely on gambling. So when they jacked the room rates up to $500 for the whole weekend, where you could have went the week before and stayed for $20 in the same room, and the bikers are like, no, we can go across the river and stay in a cheap motel, or we can rent a house or something like that for $500 for all of us for the whole week. So ended up being that it just ran it down. Well, then also at the very end, 2 years ago, the police sat out there, the Nevada cops sat out there, and as the motorcycles pulled out of the casino, they pulled them over, did DUI checks, and you never seen so many bikes get slung away and so many guys go to jail. So they ruined it. They killed it. Larry had it all set up to this year. If they would have approved it, it was approved, but Nevada never opened up. So he's trying to get something going, but it's going to be tough because do you even know what Bullhead City is? Everybody knows has heard of Laughlin, but nobody's heard of Bullhead City. Even Lake Havasu. Somebody said, why don't they do something down Lake Havasu? Well, the same weekend, they have a big boat show down there. So they have to change the weekend. But Lake Havasu does not have the hotels to bring in 10, 20,000 people. They just don't have that kind of room. So that's the problem that they have with Laughlin. I say Laughlin's dead, and Larry will probably have like a tattoo thing going still, but I don't think he'll be able to bring the bike rally back. But people still go there, no matter what. A bunch of people said next year they'll be there for the bike week. They'll be there for their bike week. So
super chat.
Ken gives another super chat.
What does it say?
For your eyewear boutique.
Thanks. I wanted to go the other day. You know what I do? I go to the dollar store. I get them for $1, and they have all these crazy colors to match my shirts. So thank you, Ken. So O'Fallon, there's two O'Fallons. There's a O'Fallon, Illinois, and an O'Fallon, Missouri. So yes, they're both really close to St. Louis.
So Wade knows. He says Bullhead City is actually the town across from the river. You're right.
That's right.
I had no idea that that's what the town was called. We've gone to the Laughlin River Run for 17 or 18 years straight. Never missed it until these last 2 years they canceled it. So yes, we've seen it. We were there. We weren't there before the shooting. We came right after. The shooting
was in 2002.
But I mean, they used to have the Avi had people out there. You know, Boss Hoss used to come out there. They had all the vendors, a lot of bikes you could test drive, all that stuff. And it just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Less vendors.
And ended up being it was a t-shirt rally, and it was sad.
Yeah, they did.
And that's what's happening. You look at Main Street in Sturgis. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. What motorcycle parts you gonna buy down there on Main Street? A t-shirt for your bike?
Yeah.
A tattoo for your bike? Jeff said he was in Bullhead last spring or ate at a great Mexican restaurant. Which Mexican restaurant did you eat at? There's only one that we know that's edible. That's the one. Montana Backroads. Almost bought some property in Kingman. Kingman is a little farther away. Whole different. You ever see those crazy pictures from people at Walmart?
They're taken at Kingman, Arizona, Walmart. They are.
We should take our video camera in there and film some of that. Gets her glasses also at the 99-cent store. She has over 100 pairs. She loses a lot.
Or they break. My Clubline ones, they've been doing pretty good, knock on wood. Now they'll probably all start breaking.
So Ocean City says it's going downhill too. The only thing we've heard about Ocean City from the vendors is that there's a lot of people with money. That people come in there and they spend a lot of money. So
the vendors go there because of that.
And so that's the only part that I've heard really about Ocean City. I just think of Ocean City to be like Myrtle Beach. I just doesn't seem like, I don't know. Like I said, we'll have to go one day to say that we've been there, seen it, done
we've been there, done that.
What
do you think of Taco John's? We've never eaten there.
No, that's not really. That's like eating at Taco Bell, isn't it?
Pretty close.
I can't remember the name.
I would assume they
Was
would
in
be very
March.
close to the same thing. Oh, there's
What
a
do you-
place in Blythe they've got on the river
I have a place in the river in Blythe. Let me tell you.
about crazy people.
We've been down in Parker. So
I'm
yes,
not a hater,
You
but
get- you
I
get
am for
the-
right to work state. I am not for unions. And
well,
to each their own.
which we won't talk about a lot of that, but unions is
Walmart.
a lot of people always think. I'll just tell one quick story. A lot of people think unions are only out to help the reject people. Well, here's a story. Make it real quick. Guy had 35 years with the gas company. Perfect employee. He was on every safety committee. He volunteered for everything, anything that he needed to do. He would mentor. He was a great employee. Well, one day we have these gas analyzers. It's about a $1,500 and $2,500 tool. He was in a house checking a furnace out for a gas leak, working on it and stuff. He got all done with it. He fixed everything. He left the house. When he got halfway to the next order, he's like, I didn't see my gas track. So he pulled over, stopped, looked in the back of his truck, and it wasn't in his bag. So he called dispatch and said, hey, can you call the customer? I need to get, because you have to have another order to get back there. Call the customer and see if I left my gas track laying there. And there was a closet you opened up in the hallway and the furnace was inside. California has that. I don't know if any other countries had that. But so ended up what happened was he ended up going back to the house. Well, when he was there looking at the furnace, he looked over his shoulder and there was a 17, 18-year-old kid in his bedroom playing games. So he asked the father, was there any chance you could ask your son if he's seen it? And of course, the kid said no. Well, the funny thing was, it's only good for 30 days. After 30 days, it locks up because you have to recalibrate it. So if the kid tried to sell it, he didn't get down far. Well, management tried to accuse him that he left on the back of the truck and he fell off. He never admitted to that. But they just said in the investigatory, I was in it, said, isn't it possible? Well, he said, anything's possible. But here's what I know. Well, they gave him a day off for that. He lost a day's worth of pay. So I went way up in the company and I said, this guy's got 35 years. He quit everything. He wouldn't be a safety commissioner. He wouldn't do anything anymore. He just did his job and went home. I said, look what you've lost. This guy had a perfect record with the company. Aren't we all allowed to make one mistake in our life? 35 years, one mistake. They gave him back his pay.
So that's how he likes to make things happen.
We changed the policy with the gas company that from now on, they would look at somebody's record. And no matter what they had done, unless you stole or you lied or something like that, falsified documents, that's the whole different thing. But if you just made a mistake, had an accident, it was your fault, they would let that one slide without having any discipline. So that's what a union can do. So there is some good things and some bad things. Yes, there's a lot of bad unions out there. Just like there's a lot of companies, there's like bad employees. There's a crap load of bad employees too. So we'll leave it. That's my union talk for today.
Route 66 ride.
I would like to do one. I don't know when. I'm trying. She can't ride that long on a bike, so I'm trying to get my buddy Art, which I don't think he came on tonight.
I didn't see him.
To retire, and we would do that ride. And a lot of people say, well, we wouldn't watch if Tam wasn't on it. Well, she could still do a live from home. We can split a screen, and she could talk from home and tell us what's going on there and talk about her ride, or I could give her stuff, pictures she can post up or whatever she wants. And we could still do it. And what I was going to do is a daily vlog of Route 66. No plans whatsoever. We would just leave and we would figure out where we stay every night. Not a tent camper, and neither is he. So we'd stay a lot of motels probably. But I think that'd be a great ride to do. Another one that I want to do is up the coast to California, which we've done that before, but we stopped in Oregon. Never went any farther. I want to do one all the way to the end of Washington and then back. So my idea would be to take my toy hauler, because we've already done California, take our toy hauler to Oregon, drop it off there somewhere, and then take the bike and do the rest of it. Once again, I don't know if she could do it. She just can't sit on a bike that long because she's following the car. She could, but it would be a lot of times when we were riding on really windy roads, like you get on the coast of California, she would be about 4 hours behind us because we'd be zipping through those curves on our bikes. So it wouldn't be very much fun for her to follow us in a vehicle.
Which direction would you go? From California to Chicago, or Chicago to
I would probably, since my buddy lives in California, we would start in California and go the other way towards Chicago. But you have to look at your weather, because it's you don't want to get out there in tornado season, going through Oklahoma and Illinois, Missouri, tornadoes.
Tornado alley.
So yeah, and you don't want to go through, Arizona when it's 127 freaking degrees. which we have done. Never rode in a hurricane, never rode in a tornado, but rode in some high winds.
We have not rode on Tail of the Dragon yet either. That's another one on our bucket
We'll
list.
try to get to that, but when I'm here's what I'm looking at. I think a lot of people, I'm going to be disappointed in it. Because everybody says, oh, it's like Daytona. When everybody kept saying, oh, you got to go to Daytona. It's so much better than Sturgis. No, it's not. No matter what you say, it's not. Two things that you got in Sturgis. One, you've got the best rides in the world. I've ridden over 2,300 miles on one trip to Sturgis, just in Sturgis, riding around in the Black Hills, and I still didn't get all my rides done. You probably could do 5,000 miles pretty easily riding around the Black Hills and never cross the same path twice, okay? What riding do you have in Daytona? We go down to St. Augustine's, I guess. We could take that out. We could go down and do the Ormond Loop. I mean, that's it. That's all we got. So there you go.
The Everglades,
and
they say.
It's like riding on flat land. It's like it's about as exciting as riding to Wyoming and back.
Illinois.
Yeah, out here we can see the trucks driving by. You know, not my cup of tea. The second thing about Sturgis is whatever you're looking for your motorcycle, and even things you're not thinking about buying for your motorcycle, is in Sturgis. In Daytona, it's all the big wheels and that's it. You don't see anything very unique in Sturgis that you would see. A lot of things, which is a lot of. They brought the Sportster S. First time to demo ride it was in Sturgis. You know, some guys have taken it and rode it from different groups,
dealerships,
but no real dealership has got one in their hand yet to sell or to use personally. So unless they had a tie to get him in, because I think somebody said Adam Sandoval rode one. I don't know if he did or not. I didn't see no video on him, but maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But it's kind of like that a lot of the stuff like that. Boss Hoss, he's going to do it in Daytona next year. He would have liked to had his, he's got a brand new bagger bike he's fixing up that will be ready for next spring in Daytona. It'll be a 2022 model that he's going to announce in Daytona next year. He would have really rather had it done in Sturgis this year, but it's not all done yet. So he had a prototype.
Numbers in Sturgis.
I don't know if I showed that or not. I think I did. Maybe I didn't show his video yet.
I don't think you did.
Might have to go back and do his too.
There's so much stuff we filmed and didn't.
We got a lot of videos on Sturgis. If you guys still want to see stuff that happened in Sturgis, we got a lot of stuff that I did. We also went to the Sturgis Brewing House. We got to talk to the brewmaster. Do you even know about that? That's what the Knuckle owns. Yep. And we talked to Brian, one of the owners, and got a great thing. Talked about that. We didn't get around to putting him up and showing you guys. I don't know if you guys made it over there to try. They had 4 beers on tap. They're going to be selling nationwide soon. They're starting out in the Midwest. And they're going to go out farther. But they're going to end up with about 17 to 18 beers they're going to make in-house. So that's kind of neat.
They said Tail of the Dragon is a weekday late morning ride. It's 11-mile thrill ride if you want to go to the ground floor to the floorboards. Which
we will. We definitely will do the ride. I have no problem with riding it. I just think that out of all the roads that I've ridden in the United States, that when people try to say, oh, it's the best road, it's going to be something that's just going to be breathtaking. Oh, so many people have died on it. You know, we got a road out by our house that's called the Sidewinder, and probably 1 or 2 people die every week on that road. And it's not even that driven of a road, but burrows are in the middle of the road, and it's got some sharp turns. There's no guardrails. And
it's straight down a cliff. It's either the rock wall or down a cliff, and it's very narrow.
There's even cars down there from back. It used to be part of the old Route 66. It was closed down for 20 or 30 years because it was such a bad road to drive on. But there's cars that are down at the bottom of these cliffs, like old 50s trucks and an old 50s car laying down there that they just couldn't get it up. They couldn't get it up. They couldn't bring it up. It just couldn't do it. So people dying on a road doesn't mean that it's a great road. We've even rode in California, this Mulholland Drive, and it's not as curvy as that, but it's one that the crotch rockets can get over 100 miles an hour in these turns, and they'll fly right past you and in your lane. And so
where is Beartooth Highway? I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
I think that's the one that's up there in Montana. And
I don't know. George said more Sturgis videos, never tired of them. And there's
Highway 395. Somebody was talking about that coming back.
I know, I saw that too. Yeah.
There was a great road that when I went years ago, geez, I don't even know where that was at. California.
I know. I saw it
Coast is
somewhere.
awesome. Yeah, Highway 1. So Lewis said Highway 1 is. Highway 1, once you get up above Malibu, is priceless. Big Sur is nothing. If you've rode Big Sur, you go a little bit farther. You go up to the other side of San Francisco. You get off on the Muir Forest exit. That will take you back out to the 1. It'll be 200 miles. That will take you 8 hours to ride, not stopping anywhere. Because there's turns you have to slow
Push
down.
cows off the road.
Well, we had to do that once. And there's turns you got to do 15, 5, 10. There's switchbacks. And you're on the cliffs. If you go on a clear day, which we did, was just, it is the best experienced ride you could ever have. Lots of, there's some turns, there's some really good sweeps you can make. If you ever watch any of those commercials where they show a car on a cliff and it shows the ocean breaking on the wall, it was filmed in that 200-mile stretch. So yes, that is, to me, is the perfect place to ride. Not as challenging. There's some good turns on it. There's some switchbacks, and especially if you end up hitting somebody with a freaking motorhome trying to drive through there. And it tells you no big things when you get on the road. It tells you not to drive.
It tells you that on Big Sur too, and they still do it.
Would definitely be, says George said he'd like a Route 66 ride. You guys ever get a final number? We're here around 586, but only for the actual rally from the 6th to the 15th is from the county. More people, we had a lot of people there. I said we had 250 to 350,000 there the first week, which isn't being counted. So if you put
the second to the 6th.
Yeah. So they basically said there was about 650, 700,000 during the 75th. So we're down about a third. And that's kind of what Woody told us when we sat down and talked to him. He said that he looked at the numbers and that's what from his campground and what he's seen. But see, what screwed up this year was, we didn't get the late arrivals. The Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday people never showed up. And they all came before. See, if they would have came in on Wednesday at the end and stayed, we would have had record numbers. How about a Rocky Mountain ride from Colorado, Wyoming, Utah? Maybe. We want to do Utah. We want to go through the Arches Park and a bunch of that stuff. That you got to watch too, because you get up to around 8,000 or 9,000. We went one summer one time and we ended up in snow. We didn't bring our jackets.
We went to, somebody said something about Tahoe Lake up in Reno, and we drove all around Tahoe Lake. And by that evening, we both had a really bad headache. And I think it was the lack of oxygen. I mean, I felt fine. I didn't feel dizzy, but boy, we both had a headache.
But that was a really neat ride. I'd never rode all the way around Lake Tahoe. Really, the backside was the best. There were some curves. We rode on this one of the skinny place that on the left, you dropped off into the lake, and on the right, you just went down a straight hill. And it's like, holy crap. Anybody just blink a little too hard, you'll be off. Yeah. So Paula said Daytona sucks for riding. Yeah, it's not much for riding.
In Texas Hill Country, we've heard that too.
I'm liking the 81st. Oh, my shirt that I have on, I guess.
Yeah.
It says he likes the 81st rally shirt.
Yep, I saw that.
The Dragon is meant to be ridden fast, so if you drive it like a normal road, you wouldn't think much of it. Well, I do drive. I push it as far as she'll let me go when she's on the back. But we normally go, if the curves are 35, I'm doing 45, 50 miles an hour around most of the curves. I'm a little more lenient as I gotten older. I used to always hug the inside lane, the yellow line. That's normally where I normally ride all my rides. And nowadays I see too many people. We used to ride up in Big Bear. That's a really great ride coming down the hill from Big Bear. But you get too many morons that can't make a turn, and the next thing you know, they're in your lane. That can even be a car. So now I have a tendency of riding more to the outside of the road, but then you got to worry more about animals jumping out in front of you. So I'm a little more lenient than I used to be.
Cautious.
Yeah, I guess cautious.
So Hair Farmer's on. Harry the Farmer. We didn't get to meet up with you. I wanted to meet up with him. He had been to Sturgis quite a few times. I think 30 or 40 times over the last few years. So sorry about that.
Yeah, Jay Bird want to know if I should get you a trike. She don't like a trike. She's rode trikes and don't like them.
Somebody told me the other day that they call them aviation landing gear for our motorcycles, and they're up most of the time, and then when you stop, they come down, so you don't have to put your feet down. Because that's what worries me. I can ride a motorcycle. I just don't know
Yeah,
if
but
I'm
that's
going to
like
be able to feel my legs.
$30,000 for that. So I don't know.
I don't
Here's
know.
a great one. John put on here, Sturgis is the Super Bowl of motorcycle rallies. Daytona is a divisional game.
I don't know.
That would make it right. Because it is. Daytona's great. And they got a lot of great things going on. It's a great party place. They got some really great bike shows there. We had fun there. But everything was so stretched out. You know, if you're going to go out there and watch the burning bike that they do,
Oh my gosh.
heck, that's like 28 miles away from Daytona.
That's in Dolly.
And then they got that other bar that we wanted to go to. They had the bikes in the trees.
Oh, that's way down.
They have pudding wrestling. I wanted to go to that.
No Name Bar, but it's what was the name of that? It wasn't Eustis. I don't remember what it was.
But that was a neat one that we
on the other side of New Smyrna Beach. Yeah.
So riding from California to Florida is not worth it.
It's different.
Well, if I was gonna riding, no, he's saying it. So riding from California to Florida is not worth it.
I think he means if he goes to Daytona from California, is it worth it? That's what I think he's saying.
Well, what I look at in the case is do it once and make a decision for yourself, because everybody's to their own. You can watch our Daytona videos and you can see there's a lot of good stuff going on. There's a lot of fun. Yeah. But I mean, there's not a lot of motorcycle rides, especially if you've been in California. Difference between California and Florida: California, nobody owns the beach. Nobody. So it's really hard. You can pretty much ride the coast and see most of it. I'd say about 75%. In Florida, maybe 10%. You see a little bit more along Daytona there. You can ride along that strip.
Along the Atlantic.
But I mean, they got a big, I don't know what you want to call it.
Sand dune.
Well, it's something that they built, I guess, to stop the waves from coming into the houses on the next street. But then these people cordon off that area over there and put a fence up, and you're not allowed to walk on their dock or anything like that because they own that. They don't own the land, but I don't know how that all works, but it's just screwed up. And that's the only thing I don't like about Florida is she's got a friend down there. And when we went down there, she goes, let's go to the beach. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the beach. We're driving along. And I'm like, hey, well, we stop right here. Oh, you can't go there. Why not? We can walk over here. We park right here on the side of the road. We walk over the fence. Oh, that's somebody's ground. What do you mean it's somebody's ground? That's the beach. No, you got to go down here where Froggy's Beach are, and that's the beach. Oh, I had a bunch of crap. And then we went motorcycle ride with him, and he says, well, where do you want to ride? I said, well, I want to ride along the beach.
Along the coast. Yeah,
I want to ride on the coast, like I do in California.
They live on the Gulf side.
Yeah. I think I've seen it twice.
In between houses. It's like, well,
is that it, or is that a mirage over there that I'm so thirsty? It was just sad. And anyway. That's the difference. But Florida's got, we rode a bike through the Everglades. I don't know. It's like people that want to go to the Badlands. A lot of people love going to the Badlands. I'm happy you love that. To me, it's a boring ride. There's not much out there to see, and it's a bunch of rocks. And there's so much other. It's like going out the Devil's Tower. If you want to see it because of the movie, hey, go see it. But to me, there's so much better riding than just riding out there. That's the same reason we didn't go back to Hewlett for the Ham Jam. It's an hour freaking drive out there, and there's nothing between here and there. And you go to the Ham Jam for a few hours, and then you got to ride that hour back, and there's nothing. It's like driving through pasture. There just isn't, you get in the Black Hills, and you got the hills, you got the curves, like Bob Knocker Road. Ride that from Nemo to Sturgis. Tell me about the last 5 miles. Push it about 55 miles an hour. And if that doesn't out-top the Tail of the Dragon, we'll see. Well, I always get some clown in front of me riding his brake. I got up to about 50, but I couldn't get any faster than that. And it's like, so I don't know. So yes, I would definitely recommend to go see the beach, to go to Florida. Some of the rallies have been around forever too. They're pretty old too. One of them was like or is it Laconia? It was the 81st.
Laconia will be, no, Daytona and I think Sturgis are about the same time. It's the 80 something. I think it was the 80th last year, so this spring will be the 81st. But Laconia is 99 next year and 100th in 2023. So that Weeby Buzzin said that they was swimming before they were walking, but they haven't been back for 52 years in Tyndall Air Force Base.
Well, Daytona, so they said Daytona has beach riding. Some, not much. You really can't You can. Like, we took a. She wanted to go early in the morning. She wanted to see a sunrise, and so we got up really early, and we rode all the way down to St. Augustine. I guess it's
St. Augustine's. It's north.
North. We went north.
So we went from Daytona
And
up.
so there was some beach there, but you didn't really get a good view of it.
Because they've got those sand dunes up. So
Yeah.
you can kind of, if you look, stretch really hard, you can kind of see.
And it's like, go to California and ride the coast. Just go to California and ride the coast.
PCH.
You can do it any place you want. You can do it down in San Diego. You can do it up in Santa Monica. If you watch our video,
County.
you know that video that we have that our little logo spins around? That's Santa Monica. That's the PCH. So just look at that, and that's population there. That's not even up where there's cliffs and all this stuff, and the only people are out there are you and the cows grazing on the ground. And one of these days we'll get a video of that, and I don't know when, but we'll get a video.
Happy cows in California.
Yeah.
That's why they're so darn happy.
Because they live on the beach.
But Cliff in Arizona, I agree. That's why I think we're not really impressed with the Badlands, because we live in Arizona and it's nothing but rocks. So that's what the Badlands are.
Iron House, North Carolina is a great place to stay during the Tail of the Dragon and rides in that area. So is that the same Iron Horse that owns the bars in Daytona and in Sturgis?
Might be just another.
That might just be. It all depends on what you want to do at a rally. We had a ball at Four Corners 3 years in a row. So, Richard, what do you do at Four Corners? Is there bike shows? Is there bands? Is it more or less the bars are having events? Do you have vendors? What kind of vendors do you have? Do you have local vendors, or do you have the big trucks come out? Is there people out there doing dynos? Are there people out there that'll do performance work on your bike or sell you mufflers? Or that's what I just want to know. The pictures that I've seen looks like just a good old time, kind of like Hollister is now. They have a really nice distillery in Rapid City. Contraband whiskey is really good.
Yeah, what's up behind us?
Beartooth Highway.
Montana's where Beartooth is at too, they said.
I think the adventure bike along the dirt roads of the Lost Coast in North Carolina.
We've got fire going.
Yeah. Iron Horse is a motorcycle resort. All right. Hope to sign off. Thanks for you guys.
Hey, big
Stop complaining. You are blessed to be riding your Harley with your beautiful wife.
We are. We're very thankful for what we get to do, and we get to share it with all you guys.
Well, what we want to do is just, which it is, there's somebody ride Monterey and Carmel in California, absolutely gorgeous. We have done that several times. So yes, we love California riding. No matter what the politics is going on there, that's one of the things you can look at California is.
It's beautiful.
Especially there, you can ride in the desert one day, you can go in the mountains the next day, you can go. That's just in Southern California. You can go out the Palm Desert and ride when it's cold. You can go in the mountains when it's hot, up to Big Bear. Great ride going up there. What's the first town in Big Bear?
It's the water. Arrowhead.
And right there, that little town's a really great little old snow town. It's great in the summertime. We're not skiers, so never did that. So yeah, Key Largo to Key West. I think that'd be something we'd like to do someday, but you got to have something set up because you don't want to go all, they say it takes a while to get down there with the traffic and stuff. So you want someplace at least to stay overnight or couple nights, stay there, then do some partying down there and stuff. So I'm really interested in something like that. But then again,
some friends that go down there during October, so I don't know, maybe that'll be the extra week we're down there. We can go to, what is it called? Fantasy Fest?
So George, he was talking about that. So if you're coming from Nemo now and you do the last 5 miles
on Bonaca Road.
Yeah, he's got that down. And now I'm not talking about switchback stuff like that. I'm just talking about nice curves and stuff. You could get down there. Might be able to do 80. That'd be really zipping around those turns.
And then a deer pulls out in front of you or jumps out in front of you.
Could die sometimes. That's the way it goes. Badlands is like Badlands is not like the Grand Canyon.
Well, that's what I said.
No.
I think so.
No.
I agree.
No. The Grand Canyons that was not, now they're saying maybe it was never made by water. It could have been from an earthquake and the earth opened up. The Badlands is just a lot of rolling We call them like red rocks. If you go out to Vegas and go out to Red Rock, you see similar rocks out there. They're kind of more oval and round, and there's some cliffs and stuff. I don't think there's any of that was ever formed by water. I don't know.
But I mean, it's like
there wasn't any. You couldn't look off the edge.
and
Like
look down.
Yeah, but it was never like the Grand Canyon.
Well, no, it's not as deep, but it's similar.
I would. I don't know. We've rode through desert before. We've been through Death Valley. Death Valley's got cliffs too, but I'm not gonna. That's not one of my enjoyable rides to ride through Death Valley. But but it is. So I tell people, hey, if you want to do the Badlands, that's great. Some people say I think the monkey guy said it was the best ride he's ever done was the Badlands. Well, I hate to see some of his other rides because that wouldn't be one of my best rides.
That's
if I've got
not
nothing,
everybody's cup of tea. Everybody has
well,
their
it
own
is.
thing.
Some people just, which is go out and take a nice ride through Wyoming. Get on Interstate 80 or Interstate 90 and ride all the way across to Yellowstone. To me, it's about the same type of ride. It's not challenging. It's got some sights you can see. Go through. Have you been through Utah and looked at the cliffs and stuff? You get back there on the back roads there in southern Utah, and it's thousands of miles you'll ride and never see the same thing. You'll see the bighorn sheep and everything. We've seen them up on hills.
Right, Canyon, Zion.
Yeah, all that is down there. That's priceless. And we want to do that again. We've never done it all yet.
We went to
That's
the Arches
priceless.
too.
Which it is. There's always places that we've been that has had some nice scenery. It was nice riding through there. But it's I don't know. I
287 in Wyoming. George says you can go to Key West in one day, and every time you've been there, you need a place to stay.
Yeah.
Stay a few days. Yeah. I think that's why it reminds me of the Grand Canyon.
We've never rode the motorcycle through the Smoky Mountains. We've driven a car through there, which that'd be neat to ride. But I mean, once again, it's not real challenging. It's just a lot of mountains and stuff like that. And we've lived in Missouri and stuff, and you get a lot of that hill. Some people call it, it's like the Black Hills. When I call them mountains, they're not mountains, they're the hills. Well, no, they call them the hills. They're really mountains. Yeah. So the Missouri has a lot of the same things. If you get down around Branson and stuff like that, you can get down there and there's a lot of cliffs there. You can ride along. We also had that along the Mississippi River. If you get down there in Alton area, that's really a neat area to ride. It's not challenging, but it's just, you got the bluffs where it used to be the river, Mississippi River used to be like 20 miles across. And back when the Indians and all them were all around.
157 Riverside Avenue.
And so that's a great place to ride a bike, but it's not challenging. It's neat to ride. It's same thing of taking your bike. If you ever rode a bike across a ferry, they put your bike on the ferry and you ride across with your bike, and you can do that down there in on the Illinois side and go over to the Missouri side across on a ferry. And those are really neat things to do. So everybody's got a different kind of ride than what anybody else wants.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Got 231 people still.
All right, what do you got here? Mammoth Falls in Oregon. Yeah, it's one of the things we want to do is we want to get up in Oregon. Imagine riding in Russia. I don't know. I bet you they probably got some great riding up there. Wouldn't want to ride in the wintertime, but I bet you in the summertime, it's like Alaska. One of our subscribers is from Alaska, and he says, people go up there all the time and ride bikes. You can actually fly in. They'll get you a camper and you get a bike and all that and do it up there and rent it. And it'd be neat. Hawaii is another place. I want to go to Hawaii and ride a motorcycle over there. We've got a couple of our subscribers. Ken's riding the Tail of the Dragon tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be neat.
You
got a GoPro, Ken?
I think you guys could spend a month in Montana, probably. Montana would probably be a neat place.
Yeah.
If you're doing the Dragon, go to Maggie Valley rides. They have 29 free planned rides over 5,000 miles.
Wow. That sounds cool.
Does the live show feel like a press conference for you guys? The machine gun of the questions. I don't know.
Well, it's like because we get to interact with you guys. It's almost
well, you kind of should already know what we're like by just watching our videos, because we're probably one of the only YouTube channels, maybe not, that what you see is who we are. We're not putting anything on. We're not acting. We're not, we don't script this. We've got just a few things that we wanted to talk about today. which was pretty much covered
Just
in the
in
first.
case you guys weren't asking any questions, we'd have something to talk about.
But I mean, people want to know, which it is. A lot of people ask when we talk about California rides, did you film those? No.
We didn't have cameras back
I
then.
used to ride every weekend. We would get on a Saturday and we would ride anywhere from 300 to 500 miles and never went anywhere. We go someplace to eat lunch. We would go up the coast. We go over to Las Vegas. We go wherever. We just did rides
San Diego,
all over.
Ventura.
I never rode my bike to work ever until right before I left. I finally rode my bike a couple times to work. Never rode my bike to work. Every 3 years, I got a different bike. Most of my bikes I got, my first couple Harleys I got had 12,000 miles on them. And I rode them till they had around 55, 60,000 miles. Right when the extended warranty ran out, I sold the bike. And because I was always afraid something major would go wrong and I didn't want to work on. I didn't have tools or anything to do anything at that time. We were living in condos. And so I put about 50,000 miles on 2 bikes in less than 6 years and never rode the Sturgis twice on one. And other than that, it was all just local riding. We got on our bikes and my best friend, Art, which ain't on in here tonight, what we did was he just loved the ride. All I'd have to do is call him in the morning and say, I'm going riding. You want to go? And he's like, yep. Never asked where we were going, when we'd be back, what he needed to do. He didn't care. He just wanted to ride. He loved to ride too.
As long as he got a cigarette break every couple hours.
Yeah, as long as we stopped and he could have a smoke. I'd let him get most of it done before we started up and get ready to go again. And but he
quit talking and start smoking.
He always loved the ride. And that's why we rode so many miles. Then she got her own bike, and we also rode with the Hog Group in California. And that's what really got it. That's how I met my friend Art through there. And it was a Harley dealership. It was their second store, and no benefits. It was ride and have fun. That was our motto.
Yeah,
and that's all we did.
Do anything for charity rides or raising money.
We did the Grand Canyon in 3 days. Went there, turned around, came right back.
It
was like it was like. Did you ever watch that Vacation?
Lampoon's
Vacation, where they go to the Grand Canyon and do that. That's what we did.
Pretty much.
And it was the whole trip was like that. But we did a bunch of rides with them on that. And then I took a group up north. I took a group up north. We went up to Oregon with a few bikes. I took up on a group. I led that one. And that was a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of wild. We've seen moose and elk and turkeys, and we pushed
the cows off the road. That's when we pushed the cows off the road.
Yeah, it was a great time. And
Ken wants to know if you'd buy another ATC rig. Yeah.
Would I buy another one? Yes.
That's the fifth wheel.
Yes, but what we're thinking now is, as a trailer, to me, it's the best trailer you could have ever bought. Right now, I talked to the dealer. He said I could sell it today for what I paid for it because it's gone up in price. It's gone up in price so much, and the quality is so good. So yes, if you buy a trailer like this, what we bought it for was, the idea was when we got tired of it, we would give it to one of our kids and let them have it. They could pass it down, and it would still be just as good. There's nothing major wrong with it. Minor things. I got a leak around the head, one of the lights. I got to put some caulking around it, and I got to bend the hinges on the door to fit tighter. But I mean, that's just stuff from opening and closing stuff you're going to have. But I mean, that's nothing compared to some of these people that got water leaks and the wood's all rotted inside now. And they got to gut half the trailer.
Or the tailgate in the back where the ramp is to go up falls off because it's wood rotted.
So the part that I miss is we used to travel on the motorcycle everywhere. Okay. Since we lived in California, we took all of our trips on the bike. I could stop anywhere I wanted. And believe me, I did. We've seen a herd of elk, probably several hundred in Northern California. And if I wouldn't have been on the bike, we'd never been able to turn around that fast to see that herd there. Because by the next, we had another group right behind us, probably 30 minutes or an hour behind us. By the time they got there, they were all gone. They never seen them.
We've said Elk Park, and he's like, oh yeah, because it said it was coming up. And
I just figure Elk Park like the elks, not the elk, the animals. And I'm like,
so
sure.
We went by, and he's like, oh crap. He did a U-turn and like.
And then same thing, we've been on the beach and we've seen seals and whales and all this stuff. And on a motorcycle, I can pull over anywhere. And believe me, I do pull over anywhere. If that bike will slide off the side of the road enough to where I can put the kickstand down and we're not on the white line, I'm stopping. And we've done that. And I miss that. With the trailer, we got 50 foot now we're dragging. With the time we haul the trailer and the truck, I'm 50 feet long. I just can't stop anywhere anymore. And that's what
That's
sucks.
what he misses.
I have trouble getting in places. You got to jack the trailer around and get turned around, and and I miss that. So we're actually thinking down the road, which I don't know when this will ever be. Maybe going to a B-class van with a small trailer just to put the motorcycle on. I don't know. A C-class motorhome and get rid of the motorcycle. I don't know. This is all stuff that we don't know. We know next year we'll be in this trailer for sure. Next year doing the rallies. I don't have any intentions of getting something different. A fifth wheel is just, this is almost paid off. So we don't need to buy something else right now. We're still finishing the payments on it. And I don't really want to buy anything else.
We're getting everything fully paid off.
I'm more worried about my truck because it's already got 75,000 miles. As a long-time rider here, you find many of the Smoky Mountain roads that are highly technical and challenging, but they are also nice, smooth, sweeping curves. What's tough about rides is anywhere. You almost need somebody to show you the rides. It's kind of like out there in Sturgis. People give you the maps and say, well, here's all these rides you can go on. Well, a couple things you got to know about. First of all, if you don't go the right way, okay, we'll start off at the bottom. Custer, if you don't get there at a certain time, you're not going to see the buffalo probably moving at all, if you see them at all. First couple of years, we never seen them. Then, if you go up Iron Mountain the wrong way, you come down Iron Mountain, you don't get to see the presidents as you come through the tunnels, the 2 tunnels. So you miss that. So there's a lot of times where if you had a guided tour or somebody would sit down and say, hey, go this way, or go do this, or go do that.
Make sure you're there by this time.
Yeah, like a lot of people say with Tail of Dragon, which I know I'm not going to do a Saturday or Sunday or a Friday. We would probably more likely do a Tuesday or something like that, and probably not a bright early in the morning because they got wild animals living up there. Somebody else said like 10 or 11 o'clock would probably be good. Probably.
Now, is there a special way to go? Is going up better than going down? Or
I think you can make a loop around too.
Oh, can you?
Four Corners has a moto art show. A Durango Harley has vendors. Silverton Train and Gunfight, a natural hot spring, $1 million highway bands, and lots to do. And so it's which it is. I'm not saying it's not a rally that wouldn't be worth going. I just figure it's more like we went to Nashville. I don't know if you watched our videos on Nashville. We actually had 6, 7, maybe 8 Harley Davidson dealers all over Tennessee and Kentucky that endorsed this ride, endorsed the show. They didn't have any bikes to look at. They had 2 tents there. One was selling T-shirts and stuff, and the other one had some vintage bikes.
Well, they had demo rides too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Harley came in. Harley came in and brought the demo trucks. So that was but it was a good old boy rally. We had dirt bike racing. We had more people running around on quads than we probably had motorcycles during the day riding around. But most of the vendors were more. Dan Kite went, which he probably said he probably won't go again. He did all right, but it was the same thing.
And it was another thing too. If you weren't staying there on the property, it was a campground too at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. You had to pay to get in. So you have to pay to get in. And they had some concerts too. They had Billy Gibbons and Loretta Lynn's granddaughter and
a couple other people.
Yeah. So they had it's the TMMR, Tennessee Music and Motorcycle Revival. So it was a nice rally for what it was, but it wasn't.
It was a good old boy rally. Yeah. What I mean by good old boy rallies is it's more local people come to it. The odds are that nobody from New York is going to go to Four Corners. Not saying there couldn't be somebody there, but it's not a rally that draws national.
300-mile radius, people go to that rally.
Yeah, that draws national attention to it. It's kind of like Laughlin. We were actually shocked this year that when we were down at Ormond Beach at the Harley dealer, they had a survey you needed to fill out. List 5 of these rallies you've been to. Sturgis, Daytona, Laconia. There was one other one, and then Laughlin. I'm like, Laughlin? I didn't even know anybody on. I'm like, I didn't believe anybody on the East Coast even knew what the hell Laughlin was. But I was just overly shocked that Laughlin had built itself up a name that somewhere over in Florida, that some promoter thought it was something that
worthy enough to mention,
to add to a list, which Four Corners never made it, Panama City Beach never made it, Myrtle Beach wasn't on the list. You know, there was a lot of rallies that are good rallies too that never were on this list. I was just overly shocked that they had Laughlin River Run on it. And I mean, even in the heyday, wasn't more than 30 or 40,000 people showed up. It was never 100,000 people, no matter. Some people
It was
said
probably one of the biggest ones on the West Coast.
yeah. And the Hollister used to be really big too, but Hollister never had the hotels and stuff that they had up there. And that's the problem when you come to a lot of these events like this is you got to have places to stay. Four Corners. How many hotels are within a 20-mile radius of the Four Corners? You don't end up usually having, a hotel that can hold 1,000 or 2,000 people. And they go, well, Sturgis doesn't have that. Well, Sturgis has enough camping around to justify 500,000 to 1 million people showing up. Just because they said there was 586,000 vehicles counted, that's just not one person in every car or motorcycle. How many people are doubling up on bikes?
So somebody wants to know if there's any shows near Michigan. I think that's what they said. Yeah, Michigan. Love your show, Michigan here.
Know. What's that website they said you can go to?
Oh, yeah. It's fishcycle.com.
Yeah. Go to fishcycle.com and you can punch in your state and they will show you all the things relevantly to motorcycle rallies. You can also pick out the rallies, but you can put motorcycle and they'll tell you anything from a local bike show at a car dealer, at a mall to the Harley dealers doing a.
It's called the THEE Biker app. And same thing. You can download it for free on your phone. Doesn't cost anything. And then you can put in your state and then it'll list all the bike rallies in your state. And if you're close to another state, you can put that state in too. But it's called the Biker app.
But see, it's kind of like Arizona when you're talking about bike rallies. The Arizona kind of sucks now. It hasn't really been much good either. Now, a lot of people go down to what's the other bars called?
Up in
Cave Creek. Cave Creek. Everybody says, "Oh, Cave Creek, it's just a great place to go." Well, it is. It's a great place to go, but it's not big enough for a bike rally. You can get 1,500 people, maybe 2,500 people at the most there. There's no place to stay there in Cave Creek. It's two bars, and then there's a bar across the street. They used to do over there. It used to be called the Buffalo Chip, but it burned up. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it used to be across the street, and they had a rodeo area, and they did some events and stuff there, biker games, stuff like that. But it's probably a lot like Four Corners probably is. It's a great adventure to go to. And people say, if you've gone to Arizona Bike Week, you got to go over to Cave Creek and check out what's going on in Cave Creek. Well, there's not a whole lot going on in Cave Creek. It's neat. The bar's really neat inside. They've got two bars there. They're really neat inside. It's old Western area. There's a bunch of little shops around there. They have some vendors in their parking lot too. I don't remember who they were because they didn't have any vendors last year. It was about 10 years ago. We went to Cave Creek, and Cave Creek ended up having another rally this year. They postponed it. I don't know when they had it this year, but a lot of people went. I think one sexy biker chick was over there.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
She said it was pretty good. But
so Ken says if we get 250 thumbs up, he'll throw in another $25 super chat.
Holy crap!
So we're at 235 thumbs up.
So we need all of you to help me out. Give me a thumbs up because Ken's gonna help us out with a super chat. Super chat. We'll give you a pating for that too. So everybody give us that thumbs up. Let everybody know that you do appreciate our show. My voice is starting to go. I actually got all messed up before we left. I thought maybe I was getting the virus, but it ended up being a head thing. With all that smoke and everything out there, the dust and being outside so much. These last 2 or 3 days, we just kind of stayed inside. We just shot a few things. We were supposed to go and eat with the Pasta Corral. She invited us over to her house, and I was afraid I might have the virus. And
we just didn't want to give it to anybody. So we kind of laid low the last couple of days.
So I ended up never got a fever. I just was all congested and coughing and stuff, and ended up never really getting into my chest. So I'm okay. And if they're watching. Cold. And I was bragging how good I've been because all these vitamins she's helping me.
See, there you go. You were saying it. We haven't even had a cold. And
so give us that thumbs up. Show us that you care. And Ken's going to help us out and give us a little extra gas money.
So, we got 254.
Because gas is getting expensive in Illinois. We actually got over there in Iowa. Well, actually, you wouldn't believe. When you got over to the east coast of South Dakota, for those of you that were in South Dakota.
We did it.
Remember, we were paying about $3.35 for gas. It was $2.99 on the other side of the state.
In Brandon. So Ken gave us our super chat.
Thank you,
$25.
Ken. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken.
Just push the little button.
I wanted to put his name up. There you
There
go.
we go. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. We appreciate
awesome
that.
job. Now it's up to 260. Thank
Holy
you. Thank
smokes.
you. Thank you.
We do appreciate all you
Yeah.
guys hitting that
That's
buzzer.
because YouTube looks at that, you know.
And some of the people complain about all that, and it does roll down to it. This is a business, and the idea of when I first started doing this, actually we weren't planning on doing all the rallies that we're doing. We thought we'd go do a couple in Florida, we do Sturgis, and that'd probably be about the end of our
And
world.
we wanted to do other stuff too.
Yeah.
But if we do other stuff, nobody watches.
Yeah.
We only
So
watch motorcycle stuff.
So we thought, hey, if we could make a couple $1,000s a month, that would pay for a lot of our expenses. Yeah. Well, that's never really happened. We made about $2,000 last year in Sturgis, and there's months here I've made like $146, $200. This month here, because it's always a month behind, I think I get like $750 for this month on the 25th when we get paid for all the work that I've done, but I'll get paid for that for next month. And then next month's done really good. We doubled our money from last year.
Oh,
so that really helped out, and it's given us to where we decided we'd go ahead and go a little farther now, and we would go ahead and there's another super chat.
Thank you, and I'm getting bugs in my hair.
So we appreciate that.
So
and
did you see who it's from?
I can't pronounce it all. It's call 900 2000.
That sounds like a
800 number.
Yeah.
1-900.
900 2000.
Yeah.
Call 900 2000. Thank you. And we appreciate all that.
Yep,
that helps
we do.
us.
Thank you. And it is. And this all adds up. And that's what's when I say we doubled our money, it also is this money too. This money is actually put in the same account as, so when I look at my YouTube's money, we've made with super chats, and so we've made like $1,200. So that's what really made a difference this year, because we didn't have any super chats last year. Yeah. We didn't have.
So that helped with the our lodging and the gas and everything.
Yeah.
So
that really helps out a lot. Yeah. So that really helped out a lot to where we could justify saying, hey, let's go ahead and do Florida as long as we could find places that didn't cost us a fortune. Bad news is the stupid campground there, the state in Myrtle Beach, it's $50 a day. And so we're paying it for 5 days or 6 days, whatever that adds up to be. Yep. So that's the most expensive place we're staying. And then Daytona, we get to stay for free. You just got to pay for the electric. So it'll be about $150, $200 for that time. So that'll be great.
And in Orlando, we'll stay at 1,000 Trails. So that'll be.
So that'll be free. So we should do pretty good the month that we stay in Florida. We should keep our overhead pretty low. Myrtle Beach will be the only thing that's going to cost us more than I really want to spend. And but if we watch our money, then we can kind of make the money that we made this year.
Roll over.
Oh, he's got a Kawasaki. He's got a 2000 Kawasaki. The ZX900 was a bike I had when I was 19.
All right.
So you don't have that anymore? What do you ride now? My bike, well, you must be a pretty young guy. In 2000, you were only 19. I guess that it could still be. Maybe 2000 is 2021, so you could be.
Yeah, it's 21 years, so 20 and 21. He's 41 now.
Well, I guess you're not such a young guy. We're just getting old.
I know. 20.
Oh, Ken said, forgot. My puting.
Oh.
I forgot. Puting. You get double one since I forgot. Welcome to the puting nation.
You didn't do a pating for Kawasaki guy.
I did too.
You've been on almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
252?
Yeah, ginger have a slice every day keeps you feeling fine. Oh, somebody else. Do the Arnold.
Oh, your Arnold thing.
I gotta think about it. I'm on the Schwarzenegger. We'll be back with the puting. All right. Keep it good. Puting nation. My name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm the Terminator. Too much for her.
Yes.
She don't like my impression. You ought to hear hers. So, do you get the super chat money? How is that connected with YouTube in order for you to get your hands on it? So here's what it does is when the super chat money comes, what we do is YouTube pays you through a thing called AdSense. So that's the same place. So by watching the commercials, we make money off of that. And so, like, if everybody, that's why I said, some people say, well, I can't afford to give you guys money. If you just watch the commercials, you help us out a lot right there. That's how we make most of our money, is through people watching commercials. So what they do is they give us a portion of that ad. So if you watch all the commercials, I make about 4 cents a video. If you don't watch the commercials, I get about a quarter of a penny. So they take that money and they put that in an account for us. And then they take this money here, also gets put in that same account, because even though we're watching on StreamYard, that's just a software program. This is being watched through YouTube. The people on Facebook, I'm not getting nothing for that. That's just something we're doing to let people that don't have YouTube, they can still see us on Facebook. So I make no money off of Facebook. Nothing. Don't get anything. They say if you get enough subscribers, I don't know nothing about that. Never heard you could make money.
Yeah, they say you can make money on Facebook. I don't know. We have to look into it.
So all this money gets put in there. So the difference is now my Patreon money is different. That goes through an account that's called Patreon. Now that money is deposited into my PayPal account. So I have this money put in a separate savings account that I have. So I know how much money I'm making. And then when I buy, like my computer, I need to pull I bought that Apple computer for $3,500. I need to pull that money. I was waiting. I'm trying to get a loan for my garage I'm wanting to build. And I don't want to pay nothing. Because if you pay stuff off, they freak out. And so that's why when we bought the pipes, I paid cash for it. Because I didn't want to put anything on credit cards. They might freak out you charging something. If you ever got a loan, you'll know how that works. So once I get the money, I'll pay off. I've already got the money in the bank to pay off my computer. So normally we pay off. We only hurt really bad last year. We got into Texas last year after the fall rallies, and we were broke. We had not a penny to our name. We had to sit around for a week till payday count. I get paid on the first of the month, and Tam gets paid on, when did you get your check?
Like the 25th or 26th.
Yeah. So she gets her disability money. Comes from another super chat.
We're not saying this to teach you guys to give.
No, but somebody was asking how the money works.
Thank you. So
that's,
who is it? Is
JC. Thank you, JC, for helping us out. So yes, so yes, we've had some tough times with all of this and things like that. Now we've done a little better, which we did. We've taken some money out of our 401s. It paid off a lot of our things, so we don't have to rely so much on the money we get every month. Because the money we get every month, if I told you what we got, you'd be like, how do you guys do that on that little bit of money? Well, we got some memberships that we paid cash for, our Coast to Coast and our 1,000 Trails, that we can stay at some of these properties, like in Florida, we can stay there for 21 days for free. So that's how we get ahead. Or I go to a campground like we stayed, well, this one cost me $50 tonight. But the one we stayed at last night cost me $5.36 for full hookups. So we have a lot of different options that we save 10% here. But she wanted something where we've got a sewer hookup and all that, and we're gonna leave.
At his sister's house, we're not gonna be hooked up, and I wanted everything cleaned out.
So I'm gonna clean all the tanks out and everything tomorrow morning before we leave, so the trailer will be all speed span. So when we get ready to go to over Labor Day weekend, we'll be down there and on the Merrimack River. It'll be all from there. We'll be in the trailer until we get home in probably December.
No, November.
Well, no, because you're going to California.
Yeah, well, we're going camping over Thanksgiving with the kids.
So we'll have a motorcycle in Southern California over Thanksgiving for a week or two. If somebody wants to go riding and check out some stuff in California, might be able to do that.
San Onofre.
Yep, San Onofre. We're going to be down there for a week or more. COVID is a distraction to invasion by the hostile. Maybe it is. Who knows? Good evening, guys.
Hope
like
still... all the noise. It's really loud.
Hope you're still doing well in Sturgis. We are not D1. We are not in Sturgis anymore. We pulled out there on Friday. It rained for 2.5 days in Sturgis. It may still be raining in Sturgis.
Wednesday, Thursday.
It got down into
Friday.
Low 60, 61 degrees. It was freezing cold and a heavy rain. And it wasn't lightning or anything, but there was still some motorcycle guys, and I really felt bad for them. It was cold.
Yeah. They had all their rain gear on.
We've had rain all the way up until
almost to Brandon.
Yeah.
So all the way across the state.
And they were supposed to have rain there today. Steelville, Missouri, great time.
Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah. Steelville, Missouri, great times on the river. Yep, we've been down in Steelville too. We're not going that far. We're going to be down by just past Merrimack Caverns, where we're going to be staying at. You two need to get a real no pity from anyone. We need to get real. Oh, wow. what I missed.
there's
I
Robert.
just got home.
Robert Aguilera.
Oh, there is Robert.
Thank you.
What'd you
for
miss?
your
We're in Springfield, Illinois. We're on our way to.
Belleville,
We're going to stay there for a week, and then we're going to head over to
Merrimack Caverns,
and then we're going to be down at
Lake of the Ozarks.
for the bike rally there, and then Bikes and Blues. From there, we're going to Myrtle Beach, down to Daytona, hang out in Florida for about a month, and then go over to Galveston. That's the for sure rally, everything that we've got so far. So I'm back from dinner. What'd you have for dinner, Lewis? Fun channel. Getting too long today.
I know.
When did it have rain in Sioux Falls? We did have rain in Sioux Falls today. That's what we heard when we watched the weather when we left on Saturday. They said rain was predicted on Sunday. So all that's coming from Sturgis over there. Actually, you guys had great weather. When we left Sturgis, it was like 59, 60 degrees.
It was cold.
And we got over there, it was like in the 70s.
It's like blue skies and sunshine. Well, the sun's going down
Springfield,
now.
isn't that the home of the Simpsons? Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Bart is just over another trailer.
Yep.
I can't turn the camera because it's getting dark.
Yep.
My dad's name, are you from Ohio? I was born in Ohio. I lived there for like 3 months. I was born in Lancaster, Ohio.
Don't ask where I was born.
My grandpa lived there. He used to live up in Akron, Medina, Ohio. My grandpa was supposed to have been some big wig at Goodyear, but I don't know. Didn't really know a lot about him. Lived in Fallbrook, California. Fallbrook's a great place.
That's nice.
That's how we used to live out in Corona.
Yeah. That's down just a little south of
Temecula. Yep, I rode down Fallbrook. Fallbrook, I've actually gone down that back way there, and that road turns into a riverbed. Me and my buddy Art, we rode that riverbed.
Well, Laura Mall, she was one of our riders from the Harley group, and she fell in that creek bed and broke her foot. So, getting dark.
So Brian said he only gave 9 out of 10 for Sturgis because they never got to call up and meet with us.
Oh.
Brian and Cheryl from Indiana. You skip on over here to Illinois right now. Hey, we're over here for a while. Come down here to Belleville.
Where are you at in Indiana? Or you can come down to Lake of the Ozarks
that
weekend.
How's that Ford tree? Ford's been doing really good. Actually, it's almost got 75,000 miles on it. I'm thinking I might have some trouble with the turbo. It doesn't, I don't remember. My turbo meter doesn't go past the middle anymore. Like when I floor it, it still has pickup and stuff. It's not hesitating or anything. So hopefully we'll get it back before it's got 100,000 miles on it. 'Cause that's what the warranty is. I paid for the extended.
10 years or
I will see you at the 42nd Labor Day rally.
42nd, where's that one? Labor Day rally. Labor Day, we're going to be down in.
Dinner was home cooked barbecue. Holy smokes.
We missed that.
You should have went over there.
Yeah. Big Tony says hi.
Oh, yeah, back way to Temecula. Yep. We did that when me and my buddy did that, and I looked at the GPS. It said it was a road, and I looked at it. It's a freaking riverbed. It had like we call it Merrimack rock. And I look at him, and I'm like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "I don't want to turn around." I said, "I don't want to go back that way either. Let's go." So we drove down that riverbed.
I got bugs on my feet.
The dog was back there kicking his leg. 77 degrees and rapid. My grandfather worked for BF Goodrich in Medina, Ohio. We used to go to the Freeze, the ice cream place. I don't remember a lot about.
You didn't live there very long.
Yeah. His real name is David Crawford from the Akron, Ohio. Well, my last name's Hoffman. So my grandpa's name was William, and now he's been gone a long time. And my aunt lives there. I have no idea. I was never really that close to my dad's side of the family. My dad's adopted, and his sister was too. She still lives up there. She's got like a horse ranch and all that. Somewhere between Akron and Medina. I don't even know what their names are. Oh, so he said now that's paved down there now.
Oh, it is? Oh, that's cool.
Salmon and white rice for dinner. Moontown Burgers in Marthasville, Illinois is one of the best burgers in the U.S.
Oh, Marthasville, Illinois? We used to live in Marthasville.
I don't know where Marthasville, Illinois is at. We used to live in Marthasville, Missouri.
Well, somebody asked about a couple bars, and the one bar was probably too
There's
far.
Mohawk Mike's on tonight. What's up?
We owe him a beer. That won't probably be till
You
Christmas.
have the EcoBoost. No, I have a diesel. I have the Ford diesel. So it's the turbo on the diesel.
It's the
6.7.
Yeah.
6.7. I'm 54, and I remember the Red Barn fast food this guy named David Crawford, is he my real dad? I don't know. Maybe we can catch dinner when you are all in Myrtle. Somebody else want to know. Maybe. What about those crazy people that ride down to Rocky Point in November?
We were going to, but they canceled it.
Yes.
I think they
That
haven't.
was all on our schedule that we were going to ride down there, and they can't. Well, they never put any more about it. They were the last post I gave up looking. Last post they had was going to be on September of last year. So it's like, well, she's got a relative that lives in Rocky Point, and we could stay at their big fancy home that they have. So we figured we just take the bike across the border. Super chat. Thank you, Raymond, for helping us out. Email again, please. Want to send you a pic of when we met. So our email is Bob, B-O-B, and then Ann, A-N-D, and then Tams, T-A-M-S, at yahoo.com. Yahoo!
That commercial?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, Power Stroke, 6.7 Power Stroke. That's what's in my engine. I've had no trouble. The engine light came on. Oh, she wants to know where you were born. She was born in East St. Louis. So if you know anything, if you ever watch that, there's another vacation movie to watch. National.
Same movie.
Yeah. When they're traveling through East St. Louis, all the tires get stolen off the car. That really happens. That even happened back then when the movie was made.
Yeah, it was a nice place. But
well, we
not
just leave
anymore.
it at that. We'll leave it at that. Maybe we can catch dinner in Myrtle Beach. Yep, I think I already said that. What about those crazy people? Okay, we already did that.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty much done. It's also been there many times, Rocky Point. I always thought I'd like to go down to Rocky Point. They talk really big about it. I got a flat 3 years ago, and no one there could help me. Probably. Which always worry about that kind of stuff when you go on the road like that, about getting something fixed and stuff. But they say there's vendors and stuff down there, so I don't know. They talk about, and when you look at their website, they say it's the largest motorcycle rally in the world. So I don't know.
My cousin said she went to it last year, probably been a couple years ago, and she said it was really neat. They have all kinds of concerts and bands and vendors, and I don't know. It's dark. I got a shadow on my face.
All righty. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight for 3
hours.
3 holy freaking hours.
We still got over 200 people.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I think the whole time we pretty much kept around 200 most of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody, no big crowd tonight. Not everybody went, not so excited because we weren't in Sturgis anymore. So, hey, if there's anything you guys want to know, other videos that you'd like to see more of, I got the Rat Holes bike show. I videotaped that there in Sturgis, so we can put that up. Put it down in the regular comments, not on this one. I won't be looking at any of this anymore. But you can put it in the regular comments. If there's other things you want us to check out, things you might want to see, we'll be in St. Louis. If there's any dealers you'd like to know about in St. Louis, we could go out and check out any of those for you. We'll see if there's any bike events going on. My buddy drives a BMW. I'll probably get a day and go ride with him. If you don't go too far, he goes a long ride too. Next thing you know, he's in Arkansas. He went to go eat barbecue or something. He loves to eat. And so I'm going to probably go on a ride with him, and I'll videotape that. So we're losing people, so they must be figuring we're leaving. Yeah. So go ahead and say your thing.
So thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining us tonight. We sure enjoyed talking to all you guys. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video, if I can see you.
And we thank all of you for the super chats.
Thank
you.
We
appreciate everybody. And without you, we wouldn't have a channel. So we'll leave you at that. And we want to thank all of the Bating Nation for hanging around with us tonight and having a good time. And we had a good time too.
Thanks.
We'll see you all later.